everybody, and welcome back to Campfire Stories. Before I go ahead and pass this off to our DM, just a couple. Is it a couple or is it only one? Do I have more than one announcement? I don't think I do.
All the housekeeping.
So I've got exactly one announcement, which is I am putting together. I still have to get the players for it and determine the actual day, but I am going to be putting together a Daggerheart one-shot using the new Daggerheart system, who is in current open beta playtest from Critical Role and the people at Darrington Press. It is awesome. You should look it up. You should play it. You should review it and send those reviews back to Critical Role. And yeah, it's great because it's not Wizards of the Coast. I love 5e. I really do. But, you know, I'm not exactly the greatest fan of Wizards for reasons I think are pretty damn apparent. But that's...
I made that face because I thought you were talking about, like, subclasses. I'm like, I'm a fucking wizard right now, babe.
Look here, cops kid. You have a couple of reasons why I gotta keep my eye on you. And with
Is it
that
because
being
I'm just
said,
so damn cute?
Look, she do be kind of cute though.
Oh my god.
With that being said, I will go ahead and pass things off to our lovely GM for the night as we head back into Waterdeep.
Hello, everyone. This is our fourth installment of our Waterdeep Dragon Heist series. I think that pretty much is everything, so join us by the firelight as we tell our stories tonight. So today, quick recap of all the events that have happened thus far. The four of you, for various reasons, all found yourselves in the Yawning Portal Tavern through a series of events, all threw in your help when an ogre began crawling up from the Underdark. You were all did what you had to do to deal with that problem, and then someone else approached you, basically asking you to help find a friend of his who was missing. Volo promised you all gold, gave you enough details to begin getting started. I believe where we left off, we had finally made our way down into these sewers, where you discovered a mind flayer, along with other members of the Xanathar Guild. You did not find in time the man that you guys were sent to save. He was already killed by the time that you guys found him. But in escaping that, you took a secret tunnel and ended up in a halfling abode. Thankfully, they were not too upset about you guys busting through like they should have been. They were grateful that you were not the Xanathar's guild coming through. So they fed you, let you shower off and clean your clothes up while you were there. Where we left off, I believe, was over a meal where Harriet, the halfling, basically told you to be gentle with Volo and how you break the news to him, because he's a sensitive soul. But yeah, you guys are just finishing up a meal at this point. Harriet has kind of gone back into the other room to put her children to bed. Everything else is up to you guys.
This is before we've decided to bed down for the night.
Yes.
Well, I can say I've certainly seen better days.
Let me retcon that slightly. I don't believe it's nighttime. I think it's about 2 to 3 p.m., but Harriet is in the other room tending to her children. So you guys still have a few hours of daylight left in today.
Well, that sucked. I forgot the voice I gave him. We haven't played in forever.
I have to say, out of all my predictions for the afternoon, an Illithid was not in the forefront of my mind of possibility.
I don't think any of this was in my forefront.
Not mine either.
Yeah, that's a new one. Things don't often get new for me, but that's a new one.
Nor was feeling like I was dead. How about anyone else?
Not necessarily a new feeling, but not a welcome one, to say the least.
You're used to it.
It's not the first time I've been beat unconscious, but it's not my favorite thing.
Mm.
You do seem like the kind of man to get into a bit of a scrap here and there.
A time or two. But we escaped with our lives, thankfully. I wish we could say the same for Floon. I know I would rather not be the one to break the news to Volo, but someone has to.
Yes, it seems it.
I don't mind shouldering that burden if no one else is willing to volunteer.
I'd rather not.
Doesn't seem like the best news to be telling someone, so take it away, and I slap you on the back. All yours.
Thanks. Yeah, I've got a bit of a way with words myself, so let's see if I could maybe let the man down gently about his friend being dead.
I guess it's safe to assume we've forfeited our pay as well.
I would say by not completing our task successfully, absolutely we have.
Yeah, it's...
There'll be more jobs in the future.
I suppose.
There's definitely a low chuckle from Atami on that one. Because you guys kinda sorta know his deal at this point, you know, who he kinda
Yeah, he's in the
works
fucking
for.
mafia.
Also, I mean, he is an entertainer. He does take legitimately those jobs. So he's just like, yeah, I think I might go a couple of low-key jobs for the next couple of days. Although I do have to report this in. Oh, Tasahira's not going to like hearing that there's an Illithid. But,
Yeah, who are we supposed to tell that this being exists down here, let alone all of this under the sewers and secret doors and... Feels like we were supposed...
Who are you guys supposed to tell? Absolutely no one.
That seems not quite... There has to be someone to tell, some sort of authorities or...
You kind of notice at this point that Harriet is like walking back in the middle of that. Well, if you want to keep your life, you probably shouldn't tell a soul. Just a thought, but if there are a Lithid in the sewers, in league with Xanathar's guild, do you really want that target on your back?
Not particularly.
And
Plus,
the
we've already
city...
been told that the City Watch cares not for the sewers.
Exactly.
Plus, we would have to explain what we were doing down there.
I suppose as well.
You're only honest with the city guards when you absolutely have to be.
Your house has a secret door.
Not anymore!
Well, not anymore, of course, but this existed and you're not concerned. You don't believe that we should tell anyone.
Well, here's the thing. I am concerned for my life, my husband's life, my children's life. I also know speaking out against certain guilds in a city gets you killed faster than anything else.
Which is right.
So there's a certain level of, like, care and knowledge that it's someone else's problem. This... I'm not going to say whose problem it is, because I have no fucking idea, but it is not any of ours in this room.
Agreed.
Suppose.
Oh.
It is much bigger than that.
What area of the city are we in?
I think we're still in Dock Ward.
I think you guys are still in the dock ward, but let me double check. My big ass map.
Oh lord. Oh lord, the map. It's big half.
Big F.
I'm breaking things.
No.
right now you guys are on the edge of the dock ward.
What I know is there like a general store nearby.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, also, you are not too far from the trading ward, which is where the yawning portal is, where Volo is waiting for you as well. Now, if you're looking for like anything specifically, the trading ward is going to be where you want to go.
Would healers kits, would that be in like a general store or would that be trading ward?
That would probably be in an herbalist shop. The only one that you can think of is in the specifically Troll Skull Alley.
Troll
Well,
Skull
that sounds
Alley.
like a lovely place.
Love that.
Sounds like so delightful.
And is that that's trading ward?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna pop out and do a little bit of shopping if just kind of some general walk-arounds. If
Did we want to go talk to Volo first? And then go on a shopping spree?
Yes,
It
we might
seems-
want to let him know. He's probably very concerned about his friend.
He's not gonna like the knowledge that his friend's dead. He'd like it a lot less if he learned that you went shopping before telling him.
it's
Right,
less
it's
of
like
a
bringing-
shopping spree
It's-
and more of
It's like
topping up on supplies.
going to grab a cup of coffee when you're late for a meeting.
Yes, but also keep in mind the last time that we were at the yawning portal, a troll popped out. Now, spell energy check around? Anybody?
Have we had a short rest?
Great question.
You have had a short rest, not a long rest.
I
I can, depending on what the spell is, I can keep going.
I
How's your
have
staminas?
absolutely 0 spell spoons left.
I'm very topped off on magic right now, actually.
So we're probably not exactly the most equipped. If you guys would like to visit Volo first, we can. But if a sort of fight breaks out, I am not exactly in the shape to go, so forgive
I will
me
also
if I
say,
make myself scarce.
I can't remember the name of the tavern owner right now, but even he said that, like, it does happen every once in a while, but really, that kind of thing is a very, like, it doesn't happen daily. Like, it is very rare for it to happen.
Yeah, but we're getting a lot of rare things happening in quick succession, so when the rare becomes common, you're just kind
Yeah.
of like, I'm not saying. I'm just saying if something happens, I'm out the back window.
I think we should be alright for this visit, and then we can go top up on supplies.
Sounds good.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you all so much for your lovely, unprovoked hospitality.
She kind of like
Yes.
leans up on her tiptoes, and you're sitting, but she still has to kind of like reach, and she just gives you like one of the, like a very firm like pat on the face, you know, just you all were lovely to meet, and like I tried to tell you, adventuring parties, you don't pick them, they just are thrust upon you. I have great faith in all of you. If you ever need a meal or a home, you are more than welcome here. Take care of yourselves.
You were lovely. Thank you very much. And the food was delicious. Thank you. We will absolutely be back.
It's much appreciated.
But as you guys exit, the walk to the yawning portal is a 25 to 30 minute one once you kind of like get your bearings as to where this halfling home was, in terms of like you guys were wandering the sewers for hours, so like it is kind of just figuring out your way on the streets now. Is there anything anyone wants to discuss in the walk to the yawning portal? Okay.
I'm looking around for any of my people. If the
Make
frizz
an-
just kind of hanging out.
Make
in the
a
alley.
perception check for me.
Sure. Oh yes. Let us check out this absolute skill monkey build that I have created.
I need to take my dice out.
That is a 19.
5 minutes away from Yawning Portal, you realize something. Not only do you not see any members of like your task force, essentially your group, you don't see any members on the streets at all. Even people that you are not super familiar with, like you've just seen in passing. Most of the time, you are still able to pick out like who is a part of your organization. You see no one.
Is there anybody on the streets?
Like there's zero people.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
It seems like a very normal day. Right now, the peak season for Waterdeep is kind of over, but there are still a good amount of people on the streets as you're passing by. There are vendors set up, especially as you're getting into the trading board. There are shops and carts set up, people selling things out in the streets in front of you. A few of them have lines built up behind them. There's just not anyone that Tommy recognizes as part of his organization. However,
something.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Nothing important.
As you enter the Yawning Portal Tavern, you immediately clock Ruby. She has kind of like sat at one of the booths, like angled to be facing the door. And the second that you walk in, she raises her glass towards you and downs it.
Give her a knowing but concerned nod. Because I know that Ruby hangs out in her, like, rainforest cafe shit. What the fuck is she doing at the Yawning Portal? Okay.
You all also are very easily able to see Volo sat at the bar, where he said he'd be waiting for you.
Before we go over to him, I just look over at Tommy. Is everything all right? You look concerned.
Yeah.
What's the matter?
You ever get the feeling that just, something's not wrong, like not bad, just out of place? That cup isn't where you left
Sure.
it last night.
Like in...
Your chair's pulled out and you don't remember it being pulled out. But maybe you just forgot.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's
how you feeling right now?
Feeling. I get the feeling that pieces are not where they should be, but I could be on edge. It's been a long day.
I believe in trusting one's gut. So,
well,
just keep on. Can I just look out and see if, like, I can sense that same feeling at all, or is it if it's just?
You take a quick scan of the streets, and to you, everything appears to be completely normal. There's a very normal hustle and bustle of the streets. Everyone appears to be. One thing that I don't know if I've mentioned this so far, on a street level, when you are just passing by people, everyone for the most part seems pretty happy and placated in Waterdeep. Now that you're kind of like realizing this, there's never been a sense of like, you don't ever hear people yelling or shouting at vendors for their prices. There is a certain level of calm that everyone on a like that you are interacting with in Waterdeep has.
I'd like to lean over to Dante. Do you also get the same vibe that something's off?
You mean besides the war that's been going on in the streets and the Illithid underground? Everyone seems on edge as much as they ever can in Waterdeep.
Yeah, nothing seems out of the ordinary, at least to me, but who knows?
To everyone else, there's nothing that you're kind of gleaning that would lead a Tommy to be feeling like this.
You guys could try an insight check Tommy if you wanted to.
Sure.
Yeah, I will.
I will.
I'll put that against perception.
Insight. It's not the best.
You're looking to beat a 19.
I
Not
don't.
Right. Let's see what she rolls.
I got an 8. I am smart, not wise.
Dirty 20.
Nice.
Ooh. And what about you, Mr. Callan?
Oh, I got a 12. Nothing
Oh.
great.
I love how the person that gets it's the detective.
Haha.
Fitting.
Figure.
Quite literally, if you've ever, if you are, as you say, within a detective agency and you've worked with partners and stuff like that, you know the look of someone who's looking for their squad and
Squatting
not
there.
seeing what he expects to see. As it relates to Ruby, you'll catch that obviously he knows Ruby because you guys met Ruby earlier.
Everyone but Dante. Dante has not met Ruby.
That's true.
Oh,
I,
Yeah.
however, see Pretty Lady at the bar.
You
Yeah.
guys see Pretty Lady at the bar and at the table, and obviously you would see them acknowledge each other, so they know each other. And then there's a little bit of like an eyebrow raise seeing her here. Like, she's not supposed to be, or she doesn't usually go
isn't.
here, or something's up.
do you even go here?
Yeah, that in the Mean Girls, she doesn't even go here.
You don't
Doesn't
even
even
go
go
here.
This is not her preferred bar, by far.
I feel like Ruby just wants to see what's about to go down with us telling Volo.
And with that being said, I shall approach Volo. As I do, casting friends on him.
Okay. You see,
Ooh,
he
smart.
is kind of like bent over a mug of ale. He doesn't look happy by any means. He already looks pretty upset. But as you enter and kind of like give him a small like squeeze on the shoulder, cast friends, he does look up at you, and there's like almost like a glassy look of emotions over his eyes at the moment. But he kind of like sniffs and pulls himself together. Do you all have any news of Floon?
Stay seated, my friend. It's not great.
Just a yes or a no.
Now, out of character, remind me, Floon was not actually the one kidnapped, right?
So there were two that were kidnapped. There was Raynar, Neverremember, and Floon. Volo asked you to retrieve Floon. Raynar was who you found in the Zentarium warehouse. He had been confused. Floon had been confused for Raynar and taken down into the sewers.
Ah, okay, so it is Floon that is dead.
That was the viscera down in the sewers.
The
All
man
you
who had
guys
his
really
face
found
played
of him was his nervous system.
Yep. I'm gonna leave that part out.
Yeah, preferably.
Unfortunately, all that remains of your beloved friend are your memories with him.
Raynar stopped by before you all came. He told me he'd been taken into the sewers. I imagined as much. You see, this is a man on the brink of breaking down emotionally. And he kind of turns away from you for just a moment, and you hear a very haggard, like, gasp of breath. He downs the rest of his drink. Oh, you all still did a favor for me, so I will still do a favor for you. I don't have much, but you see, he reaches into the cloaks of his, the pockets of his cloaks and produces a piece of paper. And as he unrolls it, you see that it is a deed to a property.
Ooh.
This was a failed book attempt, but if we can schedule a meeting with a magistrate, we can get this put into your name, and you all will at least have a base of operations for your future. I have no need for it anymore.
Well,
Oh.
I accept your generosity. Please remember that it is okay to feel what you are feeling. You have no
I
right.
will have plenty times for feeling later when I cannot embarrass myself in front of the entirety of the tavern. I'm already a laughing stock in Waterdeep. I don't need to make it worse on myself.
Sometimes hitting rock bottom isn't terrible. You're only up to go.
I hope so.
Take care, my friend.
But he does hand you the saver. I will be right back. Y'all can talk amongst yourself for just a second.
I was just gonna ask Kira, did you just come up with that on the fly? The only way to like.
And it's okay to get to rock bottom. It's only up from there.
That was good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Bitch! How do you come up with this shit?
I don't know. I've heard people say that to me all the time. It's like, you have quick wit and you come up with these things.
You're
eloquent. It's like, how do you do it? And I'm like, bam! When you heard it was when I thought it. It happened at the same time.
Freaking
See, Kira just spits them out. I always have a quotes Google Doc open of cool quotes I've thought of. Just in the off chance.
That
I
is
can't pull
so
them
on
out.
brand. That is so on brand.
Danny,
I can't just pull them out,
so
but I'll sometimes just think the cool ones, so then I'll write them down.
There you go.
Or cool ones I find online.
I'm not nearly that.
You know what?
freaking
Admittedly,
cool.
my laziness is when it comes to naming my characters. I will just go to Google Translate and put like their name in. So like even Atami.
Oh yeah.
Right. What the fuck is his last name? Saitana. So Atami Saitana is Japanese for something. I don't remember. It was when I was creating his character. I just put in like personality traits or something like that, and that's what came up.
So to the people who are watching, if you know Japanese, you know something about our character about Kira's character.
One of them is me. Usually for me, I just look up like names that mean this, and I'll just scroll through just all of them.
I do a similar thing.
That's fair.
Except I've got one fire genasi. I'm trying to figure out her name.
Mazen, though, is from a book I really like. Same with Araya.
That's also pretty on brand.
Josh, I'm sending you a message really quickly.
Okay, cool. I was just like, yo, the Divine Comedy, let's go.
That's fair.
Okay, sorry, my mom called. She threw me off. But
hi, Mom.
What we doing?
I'll leave Volo to his devices.
Okay.
Especially because he's going to realize he got friends cast on him in about 10 minutes, so...
Also, before you do leave, he does hand you a bag of gold of about 25 pieces. That is just to cover the cost that it takes to have the deed signed into your name.
Okay. Y'all getting a really good look at my t-shirt right now because Josh's camera went off. I'm sure it'll be back soon. But until
it's good. My mom said she was stopping by. Sorry.
Until then, fight like a princess, y'all.
Do right.
Yeah, I will. I'll leave him to his devices. I'll grab that, and I will head over to Ruby.
She has not taken her eyes off of the group since the moment you guys walked in, and you just see like a very obvious layer of amusement going on. And as you kind of get closer, I didn't really think any of y'all would be coming back from that, if I'm being honest. Well, you, of course, but the rest of them, I didn't see making it out of it.
Hang on, did you know what was down there?
I mean, bits and pieces.
I think you might be missing one very large piece.
Can I do an insight check to see if she knew about the mind flayer and stuff?
Sure.
I would like to as well.
Totally hiding it. Oh, no, trash. He has no idea if she knows.
I got a dirty 20.
One moment.
Just the worst.
She's surprised we were getting out of there. Who do you think almost killed everybody?
Mason, you have a very strong inkling that not much goes on in those sewers without her knowledge of it.
So
That's not saying everything, but she does keep very good tabs on what's going on.
AKA, either she knows about it, or if she doesn't know about it, that's a big deal.
Yes.
Right.
So we ran
Mason will keep this
into-
to herself.
Well, how secure is our conversation?
You get the feeling that there's, like, you have not seen any members of your organization. You also have not seen any members of Xanathar's guild as well. Like, there is normal common folk out and about today.
I'll lean in just a little bit, just to kind of keep it a little bit. We ran into an illithid.
You ran, and you're still here?
Ooh, a jaw drop? I'd love to see that from you, my dear.
You won't see it again, don't worry.
Yes, well, it decided to, I suppose, toy with us. The policeman's daughter here. A very sharp wit on her, but apparently not the most structural stability in the mind to overcome being dominated.
Not a lot of people can.
Suppose that's true.
But he didn't want to kill any of you, or you'd be dead, obviously, but he just let you all walk away?
No, he wanted to see if we could kill each other.
And how'd that go?
Almost got it.
She did
I'll have to keep an eye on you.
down a couple of us, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, I got all three of you.
It would be impressive if it
Any-
wasn't so
Is that the tea?
dangerous.
Did you find it?
I have it. It's that I can't get more.
Wait, how did you get it?
I was in the United States of America.
Where in the...
I made my
love it.
grandpa stop at Target on the way home.
So you're super hooked too, like.
Well,
Oh, shit.
in some other news, the main objective right now is to just lay low, keep out of sight. No one really knows what's going on within the City Watch right now, but we do know that they're ending the holiday early and all turning around and coming back to Waterdeep.
Why?
No one knows. I guess it's something to someone political. I don't know. When there's not been enough people talking about it quite yet.
I mean, there was a political figure's son recently kidnapped and dragged into the sewers.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck about Raynar, though. I mean, that couldn't be what turned around the entire City Watch. To my knowledge, they've never ended the holiday early.
This is one of their favorites, is it not?
It's the one break they get from being within the city walls all year.
Where's
That's odd.
our friends?
Laying low in their respective areas. You kind of know the gist of where everyone kind of has their own hideouts or like lounge areas. I'm heading back to mine as soon as I get done here. I just wanted to fill you in. I'll fill Tasahira in on everything else you said.
We might have a new, kind of just like waves the piece of paper. We might have a new place to lay low.
Now is not the time.
Not the time to do what?
to start anything else. There, when we say lay low, we mean fucking disappear. Not to be in groups. This is two of us is already too dangerous. But I wouldn't even recommend putting in your name, honestly. I'd pick one of the other ones that have nothing to do with it, put it in their name, and you can stay there, but the rest of us shouldn't come near it.
No.
Just until we figure out what the fuck is going on with City Watch.
If an emergency happens and you need a place to dip into, keep it in mind.
Thank you. I got a few more hidey holes I could stove up in for a couple days.
There's not a warm-blooded person on the planet that would not allow you into their home.
No, and I've been barking up the Emerald Enclave's ear. They want to hear me out, so we'll see how that goes.
You gotta keep me updated on that one.
I will. But she kind of like sets her empty mug down on the table. You all look fucking exhausted. Get some rest. Keep your noses clean. And you know where to find me.
Always.
So, a pleasure as always, thank you.
She will kind of like metaphorically dip her cowgirl hat and head out towards the door.
Perfect. Love it.
I'll give her like a 5-minute breath before I head out as well.
Okay. I have something for Dante, but I'll wait until he gets back. We'll see when that is. So where are we headed right now?
I'm gonna take the gold and the deed, and I'm going to approach Callan and just be like, "You're the only one in our group here who doesn't have a tie to a larger group of people. I think this is best left in your hands."
Absolutely. I'm not unaccustomed to dealing with documents and paperwork and such.
Lovely to hear it. If an emergency comes up, because at this point I think it's best if we sort of split and go to our own abodes, and as Ruby said, kind of lay low. If an emergency comes up, look for the Ace of Hearts.
Sounds wonderful.
And after that kind of 5-minute gap, I will get up from the table and head back to my own little area.
Okay. Mason and Callan. What are we doing?
I want to go home.
Okay.
Oh, mama.
I want my mama.
Now, you do know your mother is a magistrate and has the capabilities of signing off these paperwork herself.
That's what I was going to just offer.
Yeah, I
I was going
know.
to say something like, I don't know this, but I'd just be like, well, we might as well figure this out. We might as well have a better place to stay than where we've been. I don't know where it is that you live or where you're staying, but I don't really want to drag my friend into this as much as I can. But you know a place we can figure out this paperwork?
Mason just like thinks to herself of like, I really don't want to introduce this person to my parents.
He's a well put together guy. He's a man you could bring home to mama.
Out of
This
the
is not a
three,
man.
Yeah, probably.
This is not a man. Like, this would be the first person I feel like Mason has ever brought home.
Yeah, by far.
She's
That's
just
a
like,
good point.
she just thinks.
Of course, we
If
can
you come
go
with me,
outside.
I know one that'd be able to help. That's
Oh,
where I'm
that's
going
cool.
now.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Might as well get this all sorted, and then if you feel like going your separate ways, I understand.
Well, I must stay where I'm taking you, but
Oh,
I'm going home.
he's very confused, but he follows.
And as we get closer, and I'm within like a message distance, I'm just gonna message my mom. Just, Mom, is everything okay? I'm almost home. Are you there?
We just got home. Come on in.
I also just don't make a big deal of it, but I got somebody here to see. They need help from a magistrate.
It's the boy.
It is a boy.
The fact that you told me not to make a big deal of it means that I probably should be making a big deal of it, right?
No, truly, Mama. I know this is gonna sound bad, but I did meet him in a bar. But it's
I'm
not
hearing
like that.
Conversation.
You know, actually, I have. I don't want to know. Yeah, your father's in the kitchen. Come on in.
Don't
Okay.
mention which bar either, because it's like
He's
it's
just
like
gonna look at
one
her and-
notch above dive bar.
Because I just heard a half a like a phone call, basically. I heard
Yeah.
one side of it, so make a big deal out of it. My big deal
I've never
worthy.
brought anybody home before. No
Anybody.
friends, no partners, nothing. And I know for a fact that when my parents tell me to make friends and then I bring home a boy,
I see. He just kind of has a little smirk on his face.
no. It ain't like that. You keep that smirk off your face. My parents will not be getting the wrong idea about this.
I don't know what you're talking about. What smirk?
That one.
Well, I'm excited to meet your parents. And be your first friend meeting your parents ever?
I hate this, and I'm just gonna open the door.
So you are immediately met with the smell of like fresh brewing coffee. You kind of enter in through the kitchen, so you can immediately see your father is kind of like leaned against where like the kitchen sink would be. It looks like he has just finished brewing this coffee and is raising the glass to his lips. Now, to you, you see your father as you always have. He is elven, correct? Or is he half elf?
Nah, he's an elf.
Okay, so in the entire time that you have known him, his appearance has never changed. Other than now that you look at him, you can almost see a few fine lines beginning to form under his under eye, but other than that, it is the exact same man that you have known for 20 years. He immediately
This dude looks good for being in his 400s.
yeah, he do. He immediately like looks up at you and goes to like kind of wave and then sees Callan behind you and just chokes on his coffee.
I go up
At
to
me?
him though, and I
Oh,
give him like a quick kiss on the cheek. I gotta go see Mama.
But she's in her office. Go right ahead. And you just like Callan, you can feel his eyes on you as you pass by.
As before I do, Callan would never leave. He goes up to him and says, "Hello there," and I need to pull up what the fuck his name is because it's so fucking long. Please hold. He puts out his hand and he's like, "It's wonderful to meet the great father of my friend here. My name is." I literally am so tongue-tied right now. It's so bad. Killian. Killian? That's what I did? I did that?
Killian?
Oh, right. You said
Randolph, something, calendar.
Tristan.
right, that's right. Okay, Callan. Oh, fuck. Callan, Randolph, Tristan, Callan, Derek. I should be so much better at that than I am. The fourth.
Are you extending your hand for him to shake?
He puts his hand
So
out.
you
to
see the
shake.
typical elven build in front of you. However, when this man shakes your hand, it is with enough pressure to break every single one of your fingers, every single one of them, without even trying. It's
Mhm.
it's a very strong handshake that you are not quite expecting.
Mhm.
And you just see like confusion mostly in this man's eyes, and also utter exhaustion. Like there is not a lot of thoughts at the moment other than just the confusion. But he does shake your hand.
I meet it with a
How-
very firm, like, business handshake
Yeah.
that I've got.
And you met Mason how exactly?
I kind of look to her, just kind of knowing that I need to kind of not say everything here.
Papa, get this. So I went to the tavern as I usually do, and then there's a fucking troll.
Oh,
And
Yes,
he
and
helped
you-
me. He helped me put it back.
All
Your
right.
daughter is very capable,
indeed.
and it is very admirable.
I've heard of a troll coming out of the Yawning Portal in like a decade.
Oh, well, it seems we keep running into that kind of those events.
Yeah, well,
Odd
I think
things-
your mom wanted to talk to you about some of that anyway, so I'll let you have that conversation with her.
It was wonderful to meet you. Thank you. Thank you for
If
having
you're-
me in your home as well and inviting me. Oh, not inviting me.
Let's
you
go,
know.
Tristan.
He just kind of playfully rolls his eyes and walks along.
You immediately hear like the scratching of a quill on parchment as you enter your mom's office. On the flip side of your dad has not changed at all since you have, been alive. Your mom is not the same story. Her hair is rapidly graying, very wiry, tied up into a bun on top of her head. You see she also has a cup of like fresh steaming cup of coffee next to her. But it is pretty untouched, and you just see bags under her eyes. You know that she probably has not been back home since the last time she sent you the sending message, which was about 2 days ago.
She went on a activity thing, like she was fighting things.
You're not sure.
I was
She
just
is.
told I couldn't come home.
She did not want you in that ward for the night.
I see. Okay,
Mama?
so there's a reason.
Mama, you're not looking too good.
It's been a busy few days.
Although
Are you
you
alright?
are,
Yeah, we're okay.
Oh,
And you must be.
Callan,
This is Tristan.
nope. Killian Randolph Tristan Calendare the Fourth.
Do you
Wonderful
have
to meet you.
another name other than Tristan? Because there's already one Tristan, and that can get a bit confusing.
Absolutely understand. Callan is
Perfect. I don't know another Callan. We can square that away.
beautiful. By the way, you are lovely, and your daughter has been so wonderful to meet.
Thank you. She kind of gives you a side eye. Nothing to make a big deal about. And she'll set her quill down.
He's not Riz, what can I say?
So, I mean, you're coming home, but what brings Callan with you?
Randolph
we-
needed a magistrate to sign off on a deed to some land that he just got.
Okay, hand it over.
It's yes.
She immediately takes it. Who did you get this from?
A man named
Volo.
Thank you, Volo. Isn't there a Volo in our other campaign?
Volo is just a kind of main staple in D&D lore.
He's a main dude.
Wait, but I thought he was in Strahd too.
No.
Did he not?
That's
Who's the
Mordenkainen.
What did I
Oh,
think of? Nope, never mind. We're good.
Animir is Strahd exclusive.
That's what I
but she-
figured.
Kind of laughs. Well, I knew that it wasn't going to last for long. Did he say why he's giving it away, or he left that part for you to figure out?
He, again, kind of looks over.
Said he didn't need it anymore.
I bet not. All right.
It seemed as though this was the only bargaining chip he necessarily had, or the only thing he was able to give us for helping him out.
That doesn't surprise me a bit. Just
I just
sign
kind of look at Callan with like a look of keep your fucking mouth shut.
Yeah, that's what I was like, wait a minute.
just sign your name right there, and there, and there, and initial there,
It'll
and she starts walking you through the process of just like signing all of the legal parts in this.
I start drinking my mom's coffee.
Notary is a month.
She does not notice. And yeah, you can keep the gold. I don't care. You were a friend of Mason. We'll consider it even. But the property is officially in your name now. Congrats.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for your assistance with this.
Not a problem. Mason, are you gonna be staying here or heading back out?
I was planning to stay here. Papa said that there was something you had to talk to me about.
Kinda. You're not gonna like it.
I
But when-
absolutely don't mind heading out and allowing you some time to...
Honestly, it's better that you're here. My
Oh,
main
okay.
concern was just I can't get into too many details of it, but Waterdeep is not safe right now, and if you're gonna be going out, I would like you to do it with company. I was gonna suggest calling Tristan and seeing if he could accompany you to and fro, but it seems like you've met a replacement Tristan, so you can also just use him if he has the time. But I don't want you going anywhere by yourself.
I'll take replacement, Tristan. Sure.
I'm just gonna like lean over just so that somewhat my mom can hear, but to Callan. Personally, I've seen your skills. I'll take the other Tristan.
Give her a little playful shove. Just like a like a
What? Why can't you tell me what's going on? It's always been fine me going out by myself. You know I can take care of myself. He knows I can take care of myself. Papa knows I can take care of myself.
incredibly capable.
It is not a question whether she's capable or not, believe me. People are going missing quickly in the middle of the day, off the streets, in their homes, it doesn't matter. Entire families are disappearing. People that are connected to politics, common people that have nothing to do with anything. It is just a lot of bad is happening, and we don't know who's behind it or where they're being kept. And I would just like you to at least be with someone else, not by yourself.
Well, I can help.
I don't. This is out of my league right now. And you also know your mom has never admitted to anything being out of her league.
What does Papa think of this?
He's never seen the numbers go this high before. We've had missing people, sure, but never just entire families disappearing without so much of a sign of a struggle, nothing left behind. It's never been as quickly as whatever is happening right now is happening.
And there's no common link to anybody.
Not any of them. It's just random people right now. Even damn Vincent Trench, who has an answer for everything, is oddly silent in this.
Huh.
So it's not that I don't trust you. It's that I'm scared for us right now.
No scryings and nothing's working?
Nothing's working. No bodies have been found. Just people disappearing, multiple people disappearing every day. Alexa, I'm gonna message you a question really quickly, and I need you to answer me this.
Okay. I'm also gonna look over at Mason and just kind of give her a look of, we just rescued a missing person, or could it be related? Just kind of what you get.
I think the look that Mason has right now, have you seen her being like this annoyed person? But like this is the future magistrate version of her that's coming on right now of just what the fuck?
It'll take me a minute to get an answer. Hang on one
Okay.
second, Caitlin. I know I have it, but... Oh, I know it offhand.
What's the city watch and the magistrates doing? Is that why the festival was canceled?
Yeah, the city guard is coming back into town just to have extra eyes on the streets. The magistrates are already stretched so thin. I mean, this is our first time being home in 2 days. Your dad has been pulling extra shifts, and he's not even an official magistrate anymore. It's just he didn't want me to be by myself while I was out. And then the guards do what the guards always do. They're not shit ever.
Yeah, they suck.
I want to say this morning we responded to a call on the Shrin family, if you're familiar with them.
I actually know them.
Oh. Well, I'm very sorry to be the one to have to break the news to you. They are also included in our missing peoples right now.
The entire family?
The entire family and staff. Their man is abandoned.
Okay. He tries to kind of keep his gears are turning, but...
How do you know him?
A very close family friend. Well, friend of mine, actually, from Academy.
Was that the friend you were telling me about?
The friend I'm actually staying with, so I assume they're happy to have a place now. I don't think they're going back there. I probably would have been in that list of missing people had I not been out. Do you know when they went missing?
We got a call around 2 o'clock in the morning that they still had lights on in the house and was keeping the neighbors up. So we went and responded. The door was open and there was no one there.
All right. Well, thank
It
goodness.
seemed like a pretty mundane call for the most part, and had we not known what's going on, we probably would not have even gone out to investigate it.
Wow. Is it families of all... Oh my god, what's that word? Like wealth and political status and
Not
like everywhere.
exactly. It's just random groups of people right now going missing.
Well,
Not all of them are families. Some of them are just like, this entire restaurant is now empty. There is no, staff at this grocery store anymore. It is just
wild.
large groups of people just vanishing off the streets right now. The only thing that we were able to gather from the Shrin's family's house was there was a very faint smell of sulfur, and that was the only thing out of place.
Well, there are a lot of spells that use sulfur that could have explained why they got...
There's also a lot of devils that smell like sulfur. So there could be a lot of things going on right now.
Has anybody checked the sewers?
Not until the city watch gets back. There's just not enough of us, not enough manpower right now.
It seems as though this is all it's all timed to when this event, this holiday, it's like they wanted there to be a decrease in numbers.
That is what worries me.
When will the city guard be back?
Probably still 2 days, if I had to guess. At least for all of them. Some may start showing up a little bit sooner, but...
I want to be here and protecting your daughter, even though she is incredibly capable, and I just kind of look at you like...
Mason has the same face I have
Take a
right
sec,
now.
like, hold up! On the other side of it, though, the Shrins were my friends, and I feel as though I need to be assisting in helping you all find these people, these missing people, and I don't know how I can do both at the same time, and I'm
While I
worried.
appreciate the sentiment, and I can completely understand them being family friends of yours, the only way to help is to not go missing yourself.
That's fair.
And right now, that is easier said than done.
It seems it.
But
Especially if they're
you both are at least aware of it now. It shouldn't come as a surprise should anything happen. You should at least be have your wits about you. I know, Mason, you never let yours drop, but I've got to finish this report, and then I'm heading to bed for at least a few hours before I have to go back out tonight.
Yes, we all need to rest as well. So, I assume you do not want Mason staying here right now.
It's up to you, Mason. I mean, right now there's no telling where not is safe. So you could be just as safe at the Autumn Portal, or here, or just wherever you want to be.
I was also going to check out this new place that we have from Volo. Do you know anything of it, by the way? Is it what should I go in expecting?
I would
hopes.
probably stay the night here, personally. Only it's in an all right area. It's not in the worst area in the city, but it has been abandoned for quite a few years, so I imagine getting it back up to a running order might take some elbow grease and time.
Of course. And at her saying, like, you can stay here for the night, he just kind of, like, Mason, you see a little bit of red in his cheeks, and then he just says,
Mason just rolls her eyes.
absolutely, thank you for the invitation. I graciously accept.
Now, I don't have any guest bedrooms, but there should be enough blankets to make you a pallet on the floor.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you tell your father he's sleeping in your room, that I'm not being the one to hear that. I would just
He's
keep
not
it.
sleeping in my room.
No,
All right,
no,
all right.
no.
Well, if
We have
that's everything,
sure,
Mama.
Mhm.
Mama, we were in the yawning portal. That's where we met. We were in the yawn, and there's a troll.
Yes.
You should have seen me.
he listens to the entire recant of it, and there's just so much pride in her. Just like, that's my daughter.
And I did that spell that Daddy taught me. I did oh shit, what spell was it? Who's conjuration? I don't have conjuration. And then your friend there, for conjuration, I tried the one that he was teaching me, and I got it. You should have seen me.
Don't tell your dad that, because that took him like 200 years to master. He'd be livid.
I got it in 2 months.
She kind of stands up and almost in a very ushers Callan out of the room for just a moment with her daughter. And she fully wraps around you. She is a little bit shorter than you are. You in the past few months have kind of hit a growth spurt and have fully outgrown her, which is a very strange feeling for your mom to be shorter than you. It's always been that she was this domineering force of power, and it is strange for you to be looking down at her. You're short. She's shorter, all right? She's a little woman. She just commands a lot of attention.
I love that.
We love powerful women.
Yes.
We love
There
a short
is
queen.
a fierce protectiveness in the hug that she gives you, and you get the feeling that she does not want to let go.
Now they're just Mason.
You guys kind of stand there for a minute, and as she goes to finally release, will you get me another coffee?
Yeah.
Thank you. And as you go to do that, I'm going to take a 5-10 minute intermission while I figure out what happened to Josh. We'll use this as a bathroom break really quickly.
Y'all.
Sorry, y'all.
Good.
We're gonna go for a bit of a BRB, so feel free to use the
BRB.
facilities. Because we're gonna find out where Josh randomly found a portal to.
Who knows?
But stick along with us, and we're gonna find out maybe where those missing people went to. See you soon,
Including Josh.
including Josh.
Welcome back. So, Dante, as you enter the Yawning Portal Tavern, you see Atami split off to go talk to Volo. There is a flash of smoke next to you, and you really don't even have. It's second nature at this point to react to it. You manage to catch a piece of paper floating through the air, still kind of smoldering. You barely have to look at it. All it says on it is return to the Tiger's Eye at your earliest convenience. You also know that at your earliest convenience is already way too late for the time he is actually requesting you for.
Of course.
I will say, this is like
At the present.
quick rewind of where everyone's at. Mason and Callan are still next to you, while Atami goes to talk to Volo.
Oh, they're still next to me?
Yeah, they're still next to you.
I'm just gonna grab this, look over it real quick. Seems I'm late for a meeting. I'll meet you all back here soon.
All right. Sounds good. This is when we were gonna go to Mason's place,
Yes.
right? Okay, we're backtracking.
Shortly before then, yes. So
Sounds good. I assume we'll see you soon. I guess we're all splitting up.
No harm in it. We all have things to take care of. Take care of yourselves. Look out for any mischief in the streets.
You as well.
you head back to Troll Skull Alley, where you are very familiar with. You very easily find the Tiger's Eye detective or private detective office. It is a very small office in one of the smaller buildings in this alley. The second that you open the door, there's just a heavy scent of incense and pipe smoke, and had you not been expecting it, it would have been enough to choke you.
Of course, as usual.
Yeah, but as you kind of push into past the main greeting area and into Vincent's office, he is sat at the table, pipe clutched firmly in hand, smoking out of. You very rarely get to see this. It is almost never that you get to see this, but he has kind of one of those rotating clipboards, and on the back of it, which he normally keeps hidden from everyone, there is just a map of Waterdeep, and it is one of those crazy people murder boards where there are just nothing but red string and newspaper clippings and quick notes connecting different lines, and it is an illegible mess of chaos to you. There is no rhyme or reason. It is unintelligible from what you can tell.
Mm-hmm. Well, Vincent, you summoned me. It must be important.
Checking in.
Checking in. Well, fix me a drink and then we can talk.
Fine. He'll rise, and he is a fairly average, tight human. I would say he's about 5'8", 5'9". There is a trench coat on him, like the name. Can't have trench as your last name and don't have trench coat. But, he's getting older in his years. Salt and pepper hair. He does go for you. He has a bottle of brandy that he keeps under, in one of his drawers underneath the desk that he reaches for and pours you a glass and slides it across the table.
And kind of just swirl it. There's a lot going on in the city, isn't there? Things you know, I don't. Things I'm learning, you haven't told me.
You're catching on.
As always. Very interesting. Illithids in the sewers. What do you know about that?
That's a new one, I'm afraid.
Seems Xanathar's guild is getting new recruits all the time.
Worrying, but not unheard of, I suppose. Just one?
Just the one. But isn't
Normally,
enough of a problem? Especially as a pet intellect devourer with it?
Oh, yeah. They normally don't work by themselves, so something to keep in mind, I suppose.
Smells like a breeding ground for Ceramorphosis, if you ask me.
It wouldn't surprise me. That is probably, as crazy as this is going to be, the least of our concerns right now.
Maybe. You know they're at war right now, which I guess it was fairly obvious, but I have learned what they're at war over.
And that
An
is
artifact.
an
The
artifact started this.
the Stone of Gond. Apparently it has some kind of ties to a massive treasure within the city, perhaps?
Hang on, it is the Stone of Galore.
Galore.
Is this Neverember's treasure?
Perhaps. That's what it seems to be. Surface
People have
level.
been fighting and vying over it for over a decade, and there's not even any proof that it's real.
Well, they don't need proof. They're shedding blood over it, nevertheless.
That doesn't surprise me. Well, anything else?
Got hired by Volo. One of his friends went missing. They thought his friend was Sir Neverember Jr., but it was not. We freed him. Went to find the friend. The friend was flayed, nervous system removed. Hence when we ran into the Illithid. Other than that, not too much. I've met a few interesting characters, as always. What about you? What have you learned? I know you have connections all over this city, and there's some very particular information you've been keeping from me for a while.
Roll an insight check for me. I'll say that you've worked for him long enough to take advantage on it.
17.
You can't quite place your finger on it. You have never seen him look so deeply unnerved. There is just something that is not sitting right within him.
Something troubling you, boss?
A few things. None quite at your pay grade yet.
What more do I need to do to satisfy you, truly?
More of biding your time, if I'm being honest.
Wait. Every day it's wait.
I need you to be a little stronger before you deal with these.
I see. Not even a little bit of information.
Political figure, family, is making a rise. Can't quite figure out their motive yet, but it is concerning.
Interesting. Stronger, you say? You think they're that much of a threat?
If my suspicions are correct, yes.
Interesting. Can't wait to see what comes of this. Your leads are never wrong, I'll give you that much.
I wish they were sometimes. But in the meantime, I wish I had more for you, but keep out of trouble as much as you can help. And if anyone throws around the Castellanter's name, just let me know what's said.
I'm gonna pull out like a little notebook and jot that name down.
Okay.
Castellanters. Can I roll an insight check?
Roll a history check
History.
for me.
Ooh, 19.
So you have heard the name a few times in the past, not from Vincent, however, from just people on the streets. I cannot remember his name right now. I will get back to you on it, but there is the main man in the Castellanter family is making a vie for power at the moment, trying to become add himself into the political everything that's going on in Waterdeep.
Okay.
You don't know any details about them other than just you've either heard people really like them or there's just something off about them.
Okay. You know, Vincent, you usually stay away from nobility. You think it's going to be that big of a problem?
I'm afraid they're not leaving me another choice.
Of course, as always, I have my questions for you.
What?
Of course, I always have my questions for you.
Uh-huh.
My sister? Any word.
Nothing yet.
And the Empress?
Nothing new, I'm afraid.
As helpful as always, I see.
It's been busy.
Next time you summon me, keep up your side of the bargain, alright?
We'll see.
Another shot before I go?
He pours you another shot.
I'm gonna down it. Alright, something to go off of, I guess. Well, you know how to reach me. Shall you need?
You know where to find me.
Good day to you.
As you go to leave, you do hear if you almost feel a small prickling in the back of your mind. What are you trying to figure out?
About which part? You gotta be more specific.
You know exactly what part I mean.
How can I help you if I know nothing about you?
Like you've been doing.
Doesn't it help to know more about your targets?
What do you want to know?
You give me these names, you give me these people. I just like to know who I'm dealing with.
And bad people doesn't cut it anymore?
I am a detective by trade. Information is kind of my whole thing.
For someone who claims to be a detective, they sure can't see what's directly in front of them.
What do you mean by that?
I mean Vincent Trench.
Oh, it's very obvious that he's no normal man. You know
Not a
something like
man at all.
What do you mean by that?
You can't see through a basic illusion? And yet, you question me. That's fine. You can continue to do so.
What is he?
I'll let you figure that out. And the voice recedes.
Games from every angle, I swear. All right, have it your way. And I will leave the detective agency.
Okay. Danica, come up with your own last name. I am bad with names. That's on you. But a Tommy.
Yes.
We
Too
leave
many
the
friggin'
yawning portal after giving Ruby her 5-minute birth. Are we heading directly to the herbalism shop?
Yeah. You know, popping in and out to like different shops and such to just kind of
Yeah.
give in, say hi to everybody.
So as you head that way, you do notice a few like shops that you're used to being open have a like closed sign on them. The main one being like on the corner of one of the streets, there is normally a like very busy flower shop that all of the flowers have been dragged inside like and behind a locked door, and there is just a closed for now like sign up posted on it, which is very strange. You passed by here yesterday, if not the day before, and it was perfectly fine.
Just to take a look inside the window, just like passing
Yeah.
glance.
Roll like an investigation check for me.
Sure.
Or perception, whichever one you want it to be.
Let's see which one is better. Oh, it's gonna be perception by a long shot. I mean, I say by a long shot. I have nothing on this board that isn't +3 or higher. But what is that? Scanlan, why can't I read your... Oh, because that's a symbol. That is a natural 20
it's a net.
for a 26.
Nice. So
that's a symbol.
you peek in. Nothing looks amiss on the inside of it. There is not a single piece of broken pottery. Like nothing. Just looks like the flowers were all dragged inside and closed.
Interesting. Odd, but maybe they're just taking a well-deserved day off.
you pass by a few other places. Another grocery store that you had just been by a few days ago that also has a closed sign on it. There are still groceries now starting to rot that you can see visible from the window. Not anything that you can really glean, just you do take note of all of it, and it is very strange. But you make your way towards the herbalism shop, which let me find in the book really quickly.
I'm gonna head out, get me some herb.
Okay, so you head down, what is this alley called? Troll Skull Alley. And there is a very small building labeled Corellan's Crown that you know to be an herbalism shop.
Love it. And this one is open. This one has not been shut down.
This one is open.
Okay. Like, well, only one shop I wanted to go to today. Thank God this one's open.
It's a lucky break.
Right?
This is basically like a 3-story townhouse. And you can see, like, as you look up at the building, the top floor of it is nothing but a greenhouse.
Oh yeah. That whole level just stanks of wet soil.
Yeah. But you push inside. There is a wood elf standing inside with long braided hair. They have a name tag on, kind of, that just reads Fala, F-A-L-A, and they turn to greet you as you come in. You looking for medicine?
Yes. Well, more like an all-around sort of medical kit. Something to take
Yeah,
along with travels.
sure, absolutely. And they go and kind of disappear behind the counter before, and they come back up with, like, multiple sets of healer's kits, essentially. There's also, pretty much every type of kit you could think of.
Oh, wonderful. I'll grab one of these off you. Are there any sort of antidotes, anti toxins, those sort of things?
Yeah, I have quite a list. Is there anything you're trying to reverse, or just preemptively stalking?
Preemptively stalking. Just, in case any of the sludge from the sewers makes its way up top.
Give me just a moment. Also, give me just a moment to see what they would have. How much would this run you?
It's chin.
Why does nothing tell me the gold cost of anything? After a few minutes, they do come back with an antitoxin, essentially. How many were you looking for?
Oh,
I have 3 on hand, but I could make some more as well.
and how much do they typically run?
I haven't had a need for them the whole time I've had them, so we'll say 2 gold a pop.
Oh, I'll clean you. Take those off your hands.
Perfect.
And the kits?
1 second. Please, Google.
Calm
Don't
down,
do
Google.
this. 5 gold piece.
Wonderful. I'll take one of those kits and the 3 antitoxins.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Um, not in terms of shopping. A lot of the regulars seem to have their doors closed today.
Yeah, I've noticed. Quite a few people aren't turning up to work, from my understanding.
Not turn it, but they're okay. Left a note or
No one knows.
that's ominous.
Very, yes.
Oh, maybe maybe a stomach bug is going around Waterdeep.
I like to think of myself as quite old. And I've never seen a stomach bug spread quite like this. It could just be my old age tricking me, but something is amiss.
Old age brings with it you experience and very much a lot of wisdom.
Sometimes.
It's one of those times where I would not dare consider you to be wrong, but I yet
I
hope
hope
you
that I'm
are.
wrong. Same. And you notice they said that they were old. They don't look older than 20 or 30, maybe. Like, they still appear to be very, very young, but they are a true elf. You have no idea how old they could actually be.
Yeah. Yeah, I doesn't fucks with the elves. I know that they can live to be like centuries old in certain
Yeah,
cases. I know that this is this is a wood elf, you said, right? So full elf?
yes.
Yeah, so this person could be anywhere between like actually like 20, 30 years old and like 200,
Like,
300 years old.
yeah.
So I'm just like, hey, if you say you're old, I believe you. Um, Is it just shops? Is this the plague of the shopkeepers?
No. Quite a few families have also not turned up.
Any of note?
Not really. Not that I know personally. My neighbors are missing now. So that's wonderful. But other than that, I mean, it's just random. And I heard that the city guard was coming back to town early. They've cancelled the holiday. No one really knows what to make of this right now.
Yeah, from what I've been hearing, they're canceling the entire festival.
And that's the first time it's happened since I've been in Waterdeep.
Same. It's interesting. Well, might actually force the guards to, you know, do something. You didn't hear that from me.
With the watch coming back? No.
Well, keep your wits about you. I uh, heaven help anyone who tries to mess with this place. I'm sure you've got a couple of plants upstairs that could uh, knock someone out within just a good sniff.
You see, they kind of give you a very playful growl almost, and certain facial features begin to warp into animalistic images. You get the feeling that they are a pretty high level druid, and can handle themselves decently well.
He gives back that very playful, like, ooh, it's got a set of teeth on you, I see.
I think we'll be alright.
I think you will be too. Thank you very much for the supplies.
Take care.
Um, yeah, and I guess I'm just gonna, like, as I'm heading back to my abode, I think I try in vain, because I'm not a detective, I'm not a cop, I am a dirty street rat. I am in vain just trying to put together, like, if this is targeted towards, like, a gender, no, a sexuality, no, a social status, a financial status, you know, if it's localized to an area of Waterdeep, no. It's just like...
It appears, from what you can gather, to be utterly random.
What if they're not choosing? Like something else is choosing for them, so that they don't have any way of tracing this back. What is it that everyone has? Does Waterdeep have any constructs in it? Warforged or the like?
Absolutely.
Have they also gone missing?
No.
Huh.
Constructs have been left as they have always been.
So they've
Actually,
been
I kind of noticed that, like, as you pass by one of the closed businesses, there is still, like, an automaton going about trying to do its, like, sweeping and daily chores despite the business being closed inside. There is no movement other than the automaton.
Okay. There's... So they're all alive. They're all... Okay. That's something. That's not anything big. It's something.
And actually, as you go to leave the herbalism shop, you cross the street and run smack into Dante as he is exiting the Tiger's Eye private detective.
I feel like that actually happens, too. Where, like, you're talking to whatever your, like, inner voices are, and I'm straight up talking out loud to myself. Where we're just...
Yeah, I'm just, like, straight staring down at my feet, just mumbling. Oh, sorry. Didn't expect to run into you here. Taking care of business well, I suppose?
Oh, yes. Getting some supplies from the local herbalism shop.
Not a bad idea, really. There's probably going to be more bullshit afoot, if I had to guess.
And, I see you're reporting in.
Reporting in, yes. Gathering information. Vincent's quite the faucet of info, really. Have you ever heard of the Castlanters, or a Castlanter? A figure in local politics, perhaps?
History
Roll a
check?
history check. Yes, please.
Okay, I have added 3 antitoxins and 1 herbalism kit. History's not fantastic, but if you just rolled a nat 20 again, thank you, Scanlan. You're doing me lovely, and you're doing me in general. That is a 23 with the short haul symbol.
You don't typically keep up with politics. It really just has nothing of interest for you. However, you have heard the name Castellanter begin to be thrown out within the past few weeks, really. It seems to be a very family-focused politician trying to make a play for power at the moment, trying to get himself a seat in the water board politics, but you don't know any details about them.
Yeah, some sort of uppity politician trying to make their big break.
I don't know too much about the situation at hand, other than there's someone to keep an eye on. Whether they're tied to the recent goings-on, I'm not sure, but Vincent threw me a name, and usually his names lead to good information.
Who's this Vincent guy?
He runs the local detective agency, the Tiger Eye. I'm sure you've heard of it from time to time. There's a handful of us that do investigations, usually private work, but we keep tabs on most folks around here.
So is this the boss or just your boss?
In the world of our work, he is the boss.
Okay, and you report directly to the boss. You must be
I do.
quite the something.
It's taken a few years to get my reputation, but I am proud of where I sit now.
Good. You should be.
Though he told me something interesting that he'd give me a name for now, but I'd need to gain more strength before he divulged more information, which is worrying.
That is worrying. How do you plan on obtaining this strength? Going to the gym, getting your push-ups in?
Of course, there'll be a touch of that, but we all make our deals for power, do we not?
Very much a Tommy cannot help but give a wide grin to that one. Yes, I suppose we do.
Sometimes you just have to please the person who's handing down the strength.
You know, I think I also have a report to make.
Are you guys
You have
walking and
this?
talking?
Yeah, probably not in like a specific direction
Yeah.
yet.
So while you are in this Troll Skull Alley, you do both round the corner and see before you a 3-story manor. There are multiple turrets set up around it. Tommy, you pick up on the name Troll Skull Manor, which is what was titled the deed that you guys were given.
Ah. Well, okay, so, right? Because we're thinking here. Technically, neither of us have the deed, but we know the person who does.
Yes.
And I don't think, if the guards were to be like, this person was on your property, they would vouch for us.
Oh, guaranteed.
So there's
Shall we take a look around then?
Yeah, let's take a look around. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of step very slowly onto the property to see if the turrets turn.
They do not.
Okay, so they seem
When you
to
say
be
turrets, do you mean like turrets or like stone towers? Because
Stone towers, just multiple of them. A few of them do have the arrow slits in it where they could be manned. But as you guys step onto the property, most of the windows are boarded up. There is a very thick layer of dust on most things. It looks like it's been a long time since someone's been active in this area.
I suppose a property's a property, but this one's a piece of shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Vola. What did you expect?
It is the biggest building in this area.
It's just very abandoned for a very long time.
It is just very abandoned.
If it was kept by any other person, this would be like a bomb-ass place to be. As it stands, we're gonna need a Dyson to get rid of the dust around here.
Yeah.
This place has real potential. I mean, there's definitely some work to be done, but just this much space in general could make for quite the business.
Indeed. Although at this point, I think we should heed the words of our higher-ups to sort of lay low.
I agree.
But, I mean, no one's going to think anybody's here until it's renovated, looking better, looking ship shiny, I feel like you're a very hands-on man, good with good with a set of tools, and I'm very good at making things look fabulous.
I could definitely sculpt this place into something worth living in.
We have ourselves a noble who's very accustomed to the good life, and then Mason, who, we're finding new shit out about her as every hour goes on.
Very interesting group we have collected here, to say the least.
Oh, as I'm gonna kind of stand in front of the door before we go in, I did pick up on something, and it might be nothing, but Everyone who's been taken has been alive. No,
Everyone who's been taken has been alive. Are you trying to tell me there's been no corpses taken, no automata? Like,
and in fact, the automata are still doing their jobs, as it seems. I wouldn't be surprised if they've been reprogrammed to go through the motions so that no one thinks of anything.
are we aware of how mass scale these disappearances are, perhaps?
Mass scale to the point of random. These are not secluded to certain areas of Waterdeep. It almost seems like if you were to put a giant map of Waterdeep, like the one you can see in the background of our stream, and just threw a dart, that's the next one to be taken.
I do not consider myself a genius, but I believe we can go ahead and mark off the wars. For one, both guilds have no interest in harming locals that have no power, have no sway. Second, I think we could mark off any type of serial murderers. There's no rhyme or reason. It only leaves a few options. Perhaps there's someone vying for power in the council. They want to unearth the cause of this on their own volition and maybe spread some light and put themselves in a greater standing. Other than that, I would say perhaps a sacrificial ritual. Maybe some entity is vying for power, trying to make itself great again or just gain more power as a whole.
And this new politician that you spoke of, the one that has been starting to slowly amass a following, could be the champion of said entity?
Very well could be. I personally am from the city of Baldur's Gate, and for quite a time to this day, we have dealt with issues of Bane, Merkel, Ball, sacrifices, people being robbed off the streets are not uncommon. The cultists are fanatical in their kidnappings, and to me, it's very reminiscent of what I have experienced at home.
Well, I'll have to take your word for it, friend. I was born and raised in Waterdeep. Don't often
Consider yourself
choose
lucky.
to leave it.
Not all cities are constructed equally.
Not all places in Waterdeep are constructed equally either. Ah! Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
I believe once we get everyone together, we should have a little conversation.
Oh, of course.
If they're all willing to stay together. I know there was some hesitation, especially on Callan's part, of if we were all going to stick together, figure some things out, maybe move forward with our plans. Maisen's very young from the seams of it. I don't know if her ideals would align with ours, both of us being somewhat criminal-esque, but there's a conversation to be had, nevertheless.
Sometimes you make friends when you want to. Sometimes you make them when you need to.
Exactly.
I will push the door open to the dusty manor.
You are met with a creaking hinge and a burst of dust that has not been stirred in quite some time. So you enter to a tap room of a tavern, essentially. It is filled with broken furniture, abandoned silverware, wine that has turned to vinegar, how long it has sat here. So there's some very strongly permeating smells that you're getting. You also hear the scuttle of rats or mice, you're not sure. You can just kind of hear some type of small animal moving in some of the corners of the rooms.
Oh yeah, home sweet home.
Home sweet home.
And with that, we will cut back over to Mason and Callan. Are we doing anything? Or are we taking a big fat nap?
It's nap time.
I'm just chatting with my parents.
Else.
Catching up.
I end up asking for probably a cup of tea and then hitting the friggin' Actually, no. He's a whiskey drinker, I think. like a good bourbon drinker.
They'll make
If they're
good
willing.
bourbon.
Yeah, perfect. And then I will get the fuck off to bed. Thank my hosts and make my little bed in the living room area, wherever they'll keep me, on the couch, on the floor, and go the fuck to bed.
Okay. Mason, you stay up a little bit longer after Callan goes to bed, and your parents both seem very tired, very on edge, but glad that you are home for the time being, that they have their eyes on you and know that you are safe. Is there anything you were wanting to say particularly?
I feel like there was, but I don't remember what it was. So has there been any word about what's going on in the sewers at all?
Not anything new. What we already know about Xanathar's Guild and the Zentarium pretty much have it completely under their jurisdiction at this point. But until something changes, they're not allowing us to go down there to investigate it ourselves. Believe me, there is nothing more I want to do than to wipe Xanathar's Guild off the face of this planet. My hands are just tied.
Mason just thinks to herself, mine aren't. Oh, off topic. I'll go. Never mind. She'll like make to go grab a book, but like seems as if she doesn't want to like wake Callan up. I was reading in one of my books a couple days ago, and I was wondering if you guys had any. I'd never heard about this thing before called an illithid. Have you guys heard anything about those?
Your father gives you a very sharp look. What is it you want to know?
They seemed really cool because they seem very dangerous.
They are, exceptionally.
So
imagine a hive-minded creature that has the capabilities to completely take over the body of any other creature and turn them into another illithid, a part of the hive mind.
That's creepy. How would you fight it?
Very quickly deal with it before you get infected yourself.
What happens if, say, like, you were once infected, but you didn't fully become the hive mind, if that makes sense?
If you were infected, there is no way to not become part of the hive mind. They have spell casting abilities, but if one of their tadpoles entered in your eye, there is no way to reverse that. It is a matter of hours at that point before you start to go through stereomorphosis. Certain races handle it differently. Like, for instance, dwarves, if they are attempted to be turned, they simply die. Their bodies cannot handle it.
That was not something that my book mentioned.
Most don't. They are one of the most fearsome races on the planet. They enslaved the Gith race for centuries until they broke free from them. They are not something I would ever recommend to be trifling with.
Is there anything that they're vulnerable to?
No. I mean, it bleeds. Anything that bleeds can be killed, but nothing that they are particularly weak to. Their ships are living beings. They have multiple different creatures that work for them. They are very, very dangerous.
Have you ever dealt with one?
A long, long time ago.
Daddy, that's so cool.
A lot of friends died.
Oh, that's not cool. I'm
No.
sorry.
They tend to seek out higher intelligent creatures. Actually, if you're below a certain intelligence, you're practically invisible to them.
I'm gonna look in the direction of Callan and then look back. Just nod a little bit. So, would there be and so that you said they're spellcasters.
Yes.
So, is there a difference between, like, say, if they dominate, like, the spell that I know that I've seen before, and them just getting in your brain? There is a difference between that.
Yes, they have essentially a dominate person spell that they can cast. It is separate from the infection process.
Okay.
They have quite a few. They can kind of just do a force of energy that deals massive damage around them. They are just very powerful entities. Very rarely are they by themselves.
Like with more Ithalids, or just with others in general?
Mostly more of illithids.
Oh. Could they be the ones that you were the sulfur mama was talking about?
Not typically. And if they were, I would think that we would be seeing more ceremorphosis in the streets. They would be people turning into mind flayers in the open, not just going missing, not to be found. But it is possible, I suppose. Although we have no reason to believe that any are in Waterdeep.
They sound scary.
They are.
And so there's nothing to be done if they get a hold of you.
They infect you. It is best to have your friends put you down before you turn.
And you were saying that that it affects some races differently, like that it just outright kills a dwarf. Are there any that are immune?
No.
Or that it's easier to fight it off?
No, dwarves die. Gnomes have a very strange reaction and turn into more of squidling creatures, but almost all other races just turn into them. It is a complete... Essentially, they eat your entire brain, leaving only part of your memories, enough to trick and betray those that were once close to you. Your entire body goes through physical transformations and turns you into one of them. They have no emotion, or they are horrifying creatures.
If it turned, like, say if it turned me, would it have access to my magic?
Probably not, no. The memories are left intact, but they are powerful enough on their own to pretty much absorb whatever creature they took over.
What a good bedtime story.
Yes. Well, we've got another watch tonight. Will you be all right?
I think so.
All right. She'll kind of like walk you into your room. I wasn't going to ask this in front of your father because he gets very touchy on the subject. What do you know, Mason? I know you, and I know your books, and I know damn well I haven't seen a single one on illithids.
Ask too many questions.
I'd heard a rumor that there were sightings of one
Where?
in the sewers. And I was wanting to know, and I was wanting to be prepared if it came.
Your father lost several people that were dear to him a long time ago. 2 mind flayers. He watched them turn before him. They are not something... If you see one, I want you to promise me you're going to take off the other direction.
I'll try my best.
Mason, I can't lose 2 kids.
I don't want you to. I
She
can
kind of
promise that I'm not suicidal. I don't want to lose you guys either.
She kind of like forces your head down so she can still give you a forehead kiss. Sleep well. Don't let that keep you up. I'm gonna go try and soothe your father now because he's gonna be having nightmares all afternoon, but sleep tight.
Just tell him to trance instead of sleep.
I'm gonna yeah, we'll see. But they do leave you on your own. And sitting there thinking, certain things kind of begin to make sense. Your father doesn't really openly speak about his past. You obviously knew that he was a very powerful mage, but in terms of what he did before Waterdeep is not spoken of at all.
It sounds spooky.
This is
No,
all just
Sorry,
ahead.
you go ahead.
This is all just a Baldur's Gate 3 promo. If you think Mind Flayers are spooky, just wait.
Oh,
And I'm gonna go into my bedroom and I'm gonna sit on my bed and I'm gonna look across. I'm making this up now. I'm gonna look across and I'm gonna see the second bed that used to belong to my brother. And I have not touched any of his things.
It is the exact same.
I'm gonna try to sleep.
Roll a Constitution saving throw for me.
15?
You managed to sleep. Not your most restful slumber ever, but you managed to get a full rest.
I think probably with myself and Dante, we probably come to the conclusion pretty quickly that this place is fucked up and it would be better to have all 4 of us here to kind of do the renovations.
Prestidigitation.
Very fair.
We would probably fall back to the yawning portal and just like wait for the return of the others, I would assume.
As you guys go
I'm
to
going
leave,
home. I live here.
as you guys go to leave, who is leaving first?
Why?
Uh-oh.
Oh, this is not a
Uh-oh.
Dumbledore. This is not a Dumbledore situation.
Dante and Tommy. Which of you is leaving first?
I'd probably hang out for a while, just like see what repairs need to be done.
Yeah.
Kind of like gauge what I
I'll
need to
pop out.
pick
There's
up.
too much dust here.
Or-
It's getting on my clothes, and like I'm already kind of fucked up. I was like, I need fucking shit in the shower.
So you, Dante, stay a little longer. In one of the windows, you notice that it's thick with dust. But carved into that dust, there is "Last Call" written. Like, a barkeep would say as they were closing the bar for the night, like, last call for drinks. And as you go to leave, It is almost like the door is snatched out of your hand and slammed closed for you.
Huh.
Interesting.
Does that, like, leave him inside or as he gets outside?
As he goes to leave, something like was like slammed the door behind him as he exited.
Well, that's a problem for another day, I suppose. What the fuck? I'm gonna kind of shrug my shoulders, mull it over for a moment, and head back to the yawning portal.
Okay. So everyone in their respective places finds somewhere to lay down for the night, manages to get their rest, and I'll say, like, when you went to bed fairly early, so long rest ending would be around, like, 6 a.m. for you guys. So you'd have the entire day ahead of you.
Mason wakes up and starts putting in spells into her spell book.
Okay.
I want Witch Bolt.
Fair.
I'm gonna...
I'll just do that one for now.
By the time that you and Callan wake up, your parents are long gone. You get the feeling that they have not gotten a full night of rest in a very long time.
I'm just gonna leave a note that says, like, thank you once again for having me over. It was wonderful meeting you. My full last name.
Perfect.
As I'm kind of stepping out of my house, full new set of, like, entertainers' clothes. You can tell that, like, his hair is perfectly washed. There's a fluffy, kind of almost cotton candy look to it.
Yep.
Kind of slings his stuff over, make sure he's got all of his stuff. Takes one look back at his front door. Takes his deck of cards out. Finds the ace of spades. Flicks it in between the door. So, like, kind of like in between where the door opens. So that it's just sticking out, but it's wedged in there.
Yeah.
I also found it familiar.
Okay.
Did you say founded familiar?
I did.
I finded it.
I found it.
I did it.
And I'm just like, as I'm heading kind of to the yawning portal, because I figure everybody's going to meet up there, I'm just like, on one hand, I could look for some jobs. Get me some coin. On the other hand, if we set up that place that we've got, I've got my own performing area.
Yeah, jobs can come to me.
Jobs can come to me. But it's going to take some investment. Nothing to say I can't kind of do both. And as he's walking through, he's walking to see if more people have disappeared. If this is like a daily occurrence, or if this is almost like an hourly occurrence.
Roll me an investigation check.
Sure. Come on, Scan Man. Investigation is one of my lower ones. Oh. No. Scanlan would like me to stop rolling now. That is a 5.
You don't notice anyone else go missing if you've looked yesterday.
Hustle and bustle, everything looks good. Okay. Oh. The other thing is, I need to... I'm also looking around to see if I can see any of our people out and about or hidden. Because I know I'm going to have to make an actual report to the head person at some point, but I'd like to get more information from everybody else before I do that.
So you do Normally, you are not the one that gives the reports to the higher ups. That's naturally Tasahira's job.
Yeah.
So Ruby kind of saying that she would fill her in does give you a little bit of sense of peace that it will be handled in the correct avenue, so that you don't have to necessarily go tracking anyone down, especially while everyone is laying so low.
Okay, perfect.
But in your looks, you still don't really see anyone. You do spot a few members of Xanathar's guild kind of out. Their hand tattoos visible like to you that is looking for them. But you don't see any Zentaria members.
Okay. At the very least, I am seeing people out and about, which is good. I'm
Yes.
seeing that Xanathar's guild people are out, so they might not be. I don't know if they've lost people or if we've lost people. I just know that people have been lost. I would have to probably find Tasahira to get that information if she wants to divulge it to me. But right now, I'm not looking for anybody because they want to lay low. So instead, I will just head to the yawning portal and see if the people have shown up.
Dante, you were staying there, so as you head down the staircase, you do see a Tommy entering. Callan and Mason, are we heading to the yawning portal after we get up and moving, or?
I feel like,
Where I'm going.
yeah, sure, let's do it. That's good.
Okay.
I got my
So-
eagle on my shoulder. Reaper's back.
Hey, Reaper.
Fairly after the two of you grab a booth, the other two enter as well.
We'll kind of wave them over. How's your rest?
Much needed.
I have to admit, I'm a little surprised you both came back. You could have very easily went back to your lives, but here you are.
Seems as though I may not be able to do that, actually. Not so easily, at least. My friend has disappeared, along with his family and everyone that worked under him.
Seems that's not too uncommon in the current state of Waterdeep.
You guys heard about
Devastating.
the missing people?
A bit here and there. I have my theories.
I was able to pull out a piece of information. Again, could be something, could be nothing, but no automata have been taken, no graveyards have been desecrated. Everyone who's been taken has been alive.
I learned that at the sites there was remnants of sulfur. It's either spells or fiends.
Well, the places where you found the sulfur, was there any sign of burns?
No.
No.
Sulfur,
Sounds
as far as I
oddly
know-
akin to devilish, fiendish activity.
Yeah, that might kind of corroborate with mine and Dante's theory.
What's your theory?
Some sort of an occult ritualistic thing where they need alive people and it doesn't really matter who they get. Rich, poor, man, woman, or otherwise.
And a mass amount of it.
If
Could
that's
be
the
an
case,
artist.
then I can't just stand idly by and let that happen to my friend. That's
We don't want that to happen either.
Of course not, but we lack something very vital. Information.
of course. So that's what we need to seek out, it seems.
Luckily, I work in information, and one name has popped up. Though I have no real leads off of it. Perhaps you, Callan, of more nobility, may know the Castellanter, or Castellanters.
Do I know anything about them?
Do I know anything about them?
Both of you roll me a history check.
I knew it. Can see my friggin' dice.
21.
Okay.
Also decent. Rolled a natural 16. History. Ooh, real good. Also 21.
1 second.
We've been doing damn good on our history.
I'm sorry, that was an 8 I rolled, an 18 I rolled, not a 16. So 23.
Okay, so
Really?
both of you know that Victoro and Amalia Castellanter are from Waterdeep. They have been in the city for a long time.
Sorry, what were those names?
Victoria and
who?
Amalia.
Amalia?
Ammalia.
How do I even write things
Okay.
down?
I would love it, by the way, if somebody would send me some notes or something when the session is done.
I'll send you photos of mine.
Okay, because I cannot take notes because I am handling the stream.
But I'm only taking notes of what my character would know.
Yes, that's fair.
But they
I
are
got your guys.
Scandinavian nobles. They have very family-centric ideologies of very like a nuclear household. Very think of the children people, if that makes sense. They have never been in any sort of trouble that either of you can think of. But they are fairly well respected in the community.
They seem to be making a bit of a push specifically for political power, and that could be a coincidence. But I think right now it's better to treat it as if it's not.
What was that last name again?
Castellander?
Castle.
Castellanter. So like Casslanter.
Oh wow, I was so off.
Did you two happen to find anything else?
I myself did not.
Although
I did get the deed signed and figured out that
Oh.
that is also put away whenever we
Wonderful.
decide to go visit.
Dante and I actually visited it very quickly. It needs work. But
Wonderful.
could be a very nice place to kind of set up our own business, make some coin.
Our own business. What are we supposed to
what
be
kind
doing?
of business are you thinking?
I mean, it seemed to me like it used to be a tavern of sorts.
A tavern.
Broken bar stools and places. The smell is not great. It's less wine and more like cleaner's fluid at this point.
So, hold on. You're telling me that we inherited or acquired the deed to a tavern that now
No,
needs to
you
be
did.
renovated and oh yes, I acquired. Don't get me wrong, I'm a business man, but a tavern.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it because I know Volo, and I know that if the place was good and he owned it, he wouldn't have given it to us. You have gotten the deed to a multi-years-old shithole. But
Sounds about
Oh, also, it might be inhabited. Perhaps.
yes, it might
by
be.
what?
You see, as I was doing my final little look around and went to leave, I was nearly pushed out of the door and had the door slammed behind me. Now, this could have been many things, of course, a breeze, an invisible creature, a poltergeist.
You inherited
but
a haunted house.
I inherited a haunted shithole tavern.
congratulations.
I think
Your
we figured out
property.
where the staff went.
It's wonderful. How could I ever thank you?
I'm not going to lie.
It's okay.
I love this.
On
Why?
another note, I learned more about the illithids.
Oh, okay.
Do tell.
What'd you find out?
Don't fuck with them.
I
No,
think I could have told you that.
We found
Apparently-
that.
Wonderful information.
Let me. I know I'm shorter than y'all. Let me fucking finish.
Okay.
Apparently, they're able to plant a kind of like a little tadpole seed that goes in your eye, and it makes you a part of the hive mind. They have access to a
that's
bunch of spells as we.
Wonderful.
Shh, tall man, I'm done. They have access to a lot of spells, such as what they did to me. And apparently, they travel in groups. Not necessarily all illithids, but groups. Haven't been seen for a fucking while. And if you get infected, just get put down.
Wait, so are you infected, or is the spell different?
No, I got it clarified. I'm fine.
Okay, magic different. Wait,
Yeah, apparently the magic is just like the dominate person spell that I've seen done. And it's different than when you get the tadpole put in your eyeball.
No, I did tell your parents that I would take care of you for the most part. I think if I told them that you were infected and we had to put you down, that
No,
would
I'm not
be...
infected.
hold on.
This
I
I
think
would
at this
already be
point-
turned if that were the case.
Like, Atami gets up from his seat and kneels down in front of Mason. And just, like, hands on
Mason
either
looks
side
offended.
of your... Hands on either side of your face.
Smacks him.
What? Sorry. One more time. What is it that they do?
Apparently, it's like a little because they're hive mind flayers. They can put a little tadpole, basically, this part of your eyeball, right
Yes.
there.
So you
It'll
would
go
need
in there.
to be,
It'll infect.
you would need
It'll
to be an
infect your
alive
brain.
creature.
It'll eat. Tall person. I'm speaking.
You would need to be alive. It
No.
couldn't happen to an automaton.
If you got a brain, it's the tadpole's gonna eat the brain, and then you get all the memories, but then
But
you're
then
fucked.
You become one of them. You become a hive
Yeah.
mind. You become one
Correct.
of the family, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you gotta be alive.
I take an immediate look at Dante to see if he's clocked what I've clocked.
Oh yeah, I am just nodding along, like squinting.
What have you
I got
not told
a little
me?
notebook out. I'm just scribbling down information as we go.
What have you not told me?
Hold on.
It doesn't
Hold
matter
on.
who gets turned into an illithid. It doesn't matter if they're
Ah,
rich
fuck.
or poor or a man or a woman. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where in the city that you're located. And it could be a completely random person. But it could
Oh
be
shit, are all the
alive.
constructs fine?
All of the constructs are fine. None of them were taken.
Oh, fuck.
And all of this around the time that a very family-centric noble has vied for power. We should go and take a look at our new house.
I agree.
And we're just gonna leave this very public area.
Just, Alan, we are going to go and look at our house.
Yes, everyone. Let's go fuck around at the old abandoned haunted place.
I also learned that they got no vulnerabilities, and it took like half a dozen magistrates to take one down.
Oh,
And only one of them lived. The magistrates, not the illithids.
oh, okay. So that one that lived might have extra information on... fighting
That
back.
was the information.
Oh, that was the information. Oh, this is one of your parents.
He said to run.
He's a
This
smart man.
would make sense as to why Vincent told me to gather strength before going further into this rabbit hole.
He had said, though, that if something can bleed It can be killed.
He's a smart,
Do I know
tortured man.
anything about illithids?
Roll a history check.
Natural 20.
You know enough to corroborate what Mason is saying to be accurate to them.
Okay.
You've never really had to deal with them necessarily, or even like ran into one before your trip to the sewers. But everything that she is saying does sound correct.
I would also know that they are not very common in Faerun.
Yes.
So this is like an anomaly. This is very out of the ordinary.
Yes.
I have another question.
Mhm.
What information do we have about Xanathar in terms of like the figure of who he is?
Not a lot.
Or perhaps
Barely
what?
any. I mean, you know that he is a beholder.
And I know that beholders are aberrations and that illithid are aberrations, both extra-dimensional traveling creatures.
Yes, but you also know that beholders are typically too paranoid to have long-running allies.
I see.
They might have an ally for a very short amount of time, but they are so paranoid creatures that their trust runs out very quickly.
Okay.
In the direction that we're going, if we're heading towards our new rundown channel, do we pass by, or could we make a short detour to Callan's friend's place, this like mansion that got abandoned?
Was it?
It
Was
will
there a
be-
Shin family?
It will be a good bit out of the way, but if you guys wanted to head there, you absolutely could. That would be in the North Ward, close to where Mason lives, but still pretty far from it.
I think Callan would probably push for a stall.
Now, guys, I can't bring 2 other guys home. That'll give my father a heart attack.
Sweetheart, as much as I would find it entertaining as all of the 9 hells to see your father watch you bring 3 men home, I also have no interest in partying with the magistrate. I think you might know
No,
why.
he ain't the magistrate.
Then
No,
again, if you
one
do
of them are.
close with them, they'd probably be thrown off your scent, unless you said the wrong thing, of course.
Yeah, like this fucker almost did.
I said nothing of the sort.
I just kind of give like a sniff in towards Callan. Exactly how much whiskey did you have, my guy?
It was last night.
Well,
Too
But-
much.
I offer my
Perhaps you
water.
smell my cologne, actually. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Take it as a compliment.
Ode to bourbon.
But yeah, let's go see this place.
Let's go
Let's
see
see
your
how much
friends.
it's gotta be.
Yes,
upkept.
I am actually very concerned, for obvious reasons, about my friend. So, if we could, that would be wonderful.
Of course. Also, you know the person, so it won't look weird if we just kind of...
No,
walk up
I
into
was
his
actually
house?
staying there. I was staying there, so I actually know like where things were and everything. So
Oh, good. So if things are out of place, you would know.
right,
Perfect.
So you all begin
hopefully
the trek
better.
towards the
District.
northward. There are, as you pass by the streets, a few closed businesses. You kind of all clock them mentally as you pass them. But you eventually make it, and it is a massive estate that they are from. There isn't really. There are no lights coming from the inside. The front door is unlocked, which would typically be strange to you, Callan. But with everything going on, it kind of makes sense. But as you enter, you are met with complete and utter silence. Your footsteps kind of echo on the tile flooring. There is no sound whatsoever.
It's quiet, too quiet.
Eerie.
You are also used to servants taking your coat from you or like opening the door, and it is a very strange feeling for this entire massive estate to be empty.
I would like to have, as we're kind of walking up to the front entrance and, like, on our way in, be ritual casting Detect Magic.
Okay.
As am
Because
I.
Remember, Caitlin, do you remember what they did for a living? Like, what
I
their
do
family was doing?
Not off the top of my head, no.
We'll come up with something. They were...
They created cologne.
They were the greatest.
Oh my
Their
god, I
signature
fucking love it.
scent.
Danny,
Their signature
Danny,
scent.
you're a genius. It's a perfume. They were a perfume like conglomerate. Oh my
yes,
god.
the Armanis.
I fucking love it. Okay, you're a genius, Danny. Yes, the Shrin family perfumery. Oh my fucking god. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go just first of all over to where my room was to gather like things and see
Should
if I
we
can see anything out
split up and
ordinary.
see? I think at the very least, myself and Mason should split up because we have the detect magic going and try and kind of get this
absolutely.
going as much as possible.
Mason and Dante, do you want to go together, and then I'll go with Tommy?
That's perfectly fine with me.
Wonderful.
You both split your different directions to kind of get a larger area of the house under the
Sorry,
spell.
who am I with?
Me.
You're with Dante.
Awesome. I get the detective.
Detective magic.
Talon, to you, nothing is out of place. Everything is exactly as it was left. There is not a single painting askew or any signs of a struggle whatsoever. They are simply gone. While both of you kind of walk through the halls, other than very fair, mundane magic items, there is not really anything else catching your attention.
It's odd. It feels weird.
No sort of.
I understand how you were feeling this morning, actually. Last night.
And I can tell you, there's no sort of magical residue or. I'm not aware, and admittedly, my area of magical arcane study is probably less so than Mace's. But I am not aware of any spell that uses sulfur as a component that isn't fire-based.
Do I know anything about sulfur in general? I was like, with like I don't know if the mining background would do me any good with that, but
Not really. You are very well of the smell of it, but in terms of like magical properties or what else would smell similar to it, nothing is really ringing a bell.
Nothing. It still smells like sulfur in here.
No, the smell is completely gone. And even when Mason's parents mentioned it, it was very rapidly fading. Like, if they had waited any longer, they wouldn't have even gotten that.
Wow. Okay. It's so weird. This place is huge and they just took everyone, whoever it is, or they just went missing.
Almost as if they were teleported from wherever they were.
Like are there any dishes on the ground? Like nothing is.
There is
like,
not a
nothing
single thing out of the
hands.
ordinary.
It's so weird. Okay.
Does it almost look like it's staged?
Almost.
Ooh.
Almost.
Staged because rich house or staged because we're trying to hide that there was something here?
Hard to tell.
Look, I've been around rich people's places. I've been to places with staffs.
Right.
There's no such thing as there's no such thing as a staff that does everything perfect.
Oh, not at all.
People, we have flaws.
Oh, absolutely. I've had some of the clumsier servants and...
Of course. Counters would be wet or, dishes,
Right, they would
would be
have been in the
rack.
middle of a task, you would think, or something.
Callan, we're effectively sitting in a dollhouse.
Does it really feel like that? Does it feel like a...
Now that Atami has verbalized it, yes. Now, it is a strange feeling because this is normally how the house looks to you, but it is
Right.
kind of right. The servants don't always fold the towels perfectly or, and everything right now is oddly perfect.
It's weirdly perfect. Oh, now that you mention it,
This is a performance. This is... Someone has made
this is absolutely staged. And I don't believe they were working with sulfur as one of their perfumery ingredients, so that...
Hey, I mean, I just kind of point up to the tiefling horns. Sometimes it's our essence. Your friend, was she staying in the same room as you?
His name was... I called him Donnie. Donnie.
Does he have a
but... No,
journal, or...
he has his own... Does he have a what?
Does he have a journal? Or a diary?
A journal?
Some sort of a log?
He might. I could... He totally might. It would be in his bedroom, and I go up into his bedroom, and it's either in here or the side.
Roll an investigation check with advantage from Atami helping you look for a journal or anything of, like, personal note.
Ooh, real good. 19 on the dice. +4, so 23.
You managed to find a journal kind of, like, shoved in between the mattress and, like, bed frame. And you look at it and kind of keep it away from Atami just because this is very vulnerable. It is one of your closest friends, and the last few entries are nothing more than a drunkard's ramblings of self-hate and self-deprecating and being in a horrible mental state as he is writing these journal entries. They're almost illegible and the handwriting is different. Even, like, you can just tell they were barely able to hold this quill to write the journal entry, but it is very different from the Donnie that you know.
Is it his handwriting, or is it...
It is his handwriting. It is just very quick and rushed and drunk. Yeah.
Forced, perhaps?
Not necessarily forced, but just...
Like he's going mad
he was not...
slowly.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
How much of this do you tell me?
I think I just explained, like, it's as if he was going mad at the end here. Just these last few pages.
You also know that he's always kind of had a drinking issue since you've known him. It has, now that you are forced to think about it, gotten a lot worse recently. There isn't a single time that you run into him or come home to him not reeking of alcohol and being drunk off his ass.
I know that it's gotten worse lately, but I didn't really think of it as much of a problem. It seemed like in the last little bit here, though, he really was not having a good time. I don't know how much I should really... You know what? He's in trouble. I need to share all this, but I most definitely was encouraging a little bit of the drinking habit. Not encouraging per se, just... What's the word I'm trying to come up? Yeah, there's a word for
enabling.
Like, word, thank you. I forget that word all the time. I don't know why. I use it in my daily vernacular, and I forget it all the time. I was most definitely enabling him, and I think it got much worse than I anticipated, but that can't be why everyone else in the house went missing.
No, I agree. I feel like at some point we will get back to you enabling your alcoholic friend who's seen better days. But at least with this specific situation, I don't think that's the cause.
Is there anything in there?
Going madder and
Oh,
madder,
go ahead.
and we know that illithids can affect the mind.
Right,
It
especially
is
in the last
also
few days.
roughly 2 weeks of entries like this.
Mm.
From what Mason was told by her parents, at least, the Ceramorphosis process is much quicker than that.
Right, so it may have been
This
something
kind
else.
of, to you especially, seems like your best friend is in a horrible downward spiral.
Right.
Do we
He's
also
not
know
doing
if
all
like
right.
prolonged contact with an illithid can start to slowly like jumble the mind?
Nothing so far has given you that feeling.
Okay.
Really, they do have their dominate person ability, and then they have their infection ability. Those are the only 2 things that you guys are aware of right now, but you have not heard of just being in close proximity with them having an effect on people,
Okay.
other than just being afraid of them in general.
You can't get a contact high off them.
Basically, yeah.
Got it.
So yeah, it does just
He
look
obviously
like it looks like your friend was going through
was
some
just
shit.
not in a good place. Yeah, it seems like it. I know, he didn't. He's like me. He didn't really like his family as much growing up. He was kind of a part of it and forced to be, and we both hated being in academy, but we did it, and we're both people pleasers. But I didn't really realize how much that affected him in these recent weeks, at least. I wonder if me being here just spurred so much of it.
Well, you guys are looking through the journal. Mason and Dante, a few things not really of note, but just thoughts that you're having while you're walking down these hallways. Mason, for you, it's almost difficult because you have watched what your family has sacrificed for the city of Waterdeep. Your house is the size of one of these rooms. I mean, like, your entire life has taken place in the size of one of these rooms. And it's almost like this feeling of just like, why have my parents sacrificed so much and get so little back from the city? Dante, for you, it has been a very, very long time since you have walked in a place of nobility. It is a very strange and foreign feeling to you, despite your upbringing. It is very reminiscent of home.
Is there anything magical?
Like I said, there were a few mundane magic items, just things like that would do household chores for them, or small like doodads, but nothing that really spoke out to you or caught your attention as being pressing to what you're looking for.
I have a few things, questions.
Yeah.
Sulfur keeps getting thrown up, as in the sin of sulfur was here. Are there any traces of a residue of any sort that has not been cleaned?
Roll an investigation check for me.
I would like to also look.
Okay.
18.
Okay.
$19.
You guys do your searching through the house and are both kind of keeping an eye out for it. And as you kind of circle back to meet up with the others, there is a almost like smearing of sulfuric powder on the ground of the main entranceway.
I'm going to kneel down and like scoop some of it up with 2 fingers and just rub it between my fingers and look at it closely. And then I'm going to try to recall the history of the Mind Flayers deeply, as in what they might have in terms of connections to fire, or perhaps the Nine Hells, which I know there is a connection between the Nine Hells in terms of like my knowledge, but let's see if Dante knows it.
Roll a history history check.
That's going to be a 17.
How the two would correlate, you really cannot begin to piece together. it's kind of like you almost have half of a puzzle figured out, but this Mind Flayer piece is just not fitting in it anywhere. That is kind of the outlier right now. And you almost feel like if you keep looking too closely at that piece, you're going to miss the larger picture.
So I guess my question more here is, I know that there essentially is no connection between
There
Mind
is-
Flayer and Nine Hells other than Tiamat is an enemy of the Mind Flayers.
Uh-huh.
In the sense of, like, they do not get along with fiends.
No.
But this is almost a fiendish presence.
Yes.
So I do kind of ascertain that.
Yeah.
Is there any magic coming from the sulfur?
Not at this point. It has been about this by the time y'all get there, about 48 hours since any spell would have been cast, or since your parents were even there. There is no magic residue left over.
And there are no scorch marks of fire or anything. This screams fiendish activity, not the casting of, like, a fireball or...
Right.
Or a
Okay.
teleport?
Like
Does it seem
sulfur
like
it's a
especially with-
teleport spell?
With the placement, where it being in the main entranceway, it would make sense for it to be a sort of teleport.
Mason, I think we may be taking the lead of the Illithid. Though strange, I don't think they are our main concern. This, especially, having grown up in Baldur's Gate, fiendish activity is nothing new to me. I believe we may need to do a bit of research on archdevils, their play within the city, people who have connections with them, what they may want. I know certain archdevils do yearn for human sacrifice, certain don't. If we could narrow it down, possibly look for iconography throughout the city, maybe connect with certain families or temples that are up and coming, perhaps. You have a large collection of intelligence, not only in just your mind, but in terms of your connections with your family and books, access to libraries. Maybe if we could narrow down a particular archdevil that could be surging for power at the moment, looking for human sacrifice, we could hone in on a particular group to focus on.
I think if I went to the library or to the magistrates or anybody else without, say, a single archdevil to be inquiring about, they'd be a little suspicious.
I see.
However, there might be two. Only one of them's a magistrate, another one not quite yet, but they might be people that... The gist of the matter is they're about my age. They're shitty young people. They might be willing to share information.
Information is information. We only have about 9 figures here to worry about. To me, I doubt that it has anything to do with Miracle, Bane, or Ball, nor Zariel, but there are many more devils with much sway over mortals that we could look into.
And
You
while
lead the
we all
way.
kind of meet up in the entranceway, is it alright if we take a quick break?
Sure. I wanted to
Okay.
ask one
Yeah.
quick thing before we left the room. Right, I'm gonna kind of do my thing where I just kind of put my hand on Callan's back and be like, we could leave now. What's the most expensive thing in this room? To me, that looks
Roll an
like it could
investigation
fit in a pocket.
Roll an investigation check for me.
Sure.
Perfume.
Fuck the rich.
Eat the rich. Oh. Dirty 20? Or is that you said investigation?
Yes.
Dirty 20.
On the desk, there appears to be a almost like paperweight of just a single feather that, from the looks of it, is solid gold. If not a painted platinum.
Yeah, I think I'll take this opportunity to, like, kind of usher Callan out and go to put the diary back onto the table, and then just kind of swipe that real quick.
Let me see if I can see that.
Also, during break, I do need like one-on-one DM time for like just a minute.
That's fine, because I wanted to come in there and reheat some food really quickly.
If you guys want some time alone together, you just gotta let us
Hey, you
know.
just have to ask.
In character.
You don't have to. You don't have to lie.
Yes, you guys
In
need
character.
time alone to roleplay, is what you're saying.
Right.
Have you looked at my wife tonight? God damn.
Exactly.
She looks so hot.
That's why I'm saying you don't gotta make excuses.
Oh man, we ain't blaming you whatsoever.
We can see her.
Okay, yeah, you're looking to beat an 18.
I'm too busy talking with Dante, else I'd be looking for this.
I didn't read it. Go for it.
Cool.
All yours. I'll
You
fight
snag
later.
it and stick it in your pocket.
Fuck the rich. And then, yeah, we'll leave, and then we will break yet again for some quality time, and for the rest of us, we get to pee.
That's called we have long sessions lately.
Yay! And in fact, if it makes it past midnight, I'll be 30 years old.
That's
Yeah, my birthday's
So we
tomorrow.
have-
fuck,
it's
that's
gotta-
right.
So,
Yeah, how much time do we have?
be right back. And we're back.
So we all
Why
meet
is
up.
everything fucked? Wait, why is everything weird? God damn it. Okay. Continue your narrations. I will fix this.
We all meet up in the entranceway with Dante and Mason kneeled over a smear of sulfur on the ground.
Like I said, I think this has some sort of fiendish ties more so than anything to do with Ceramorphosis. I think I need to contact my higher-ups once more and see if I can fish more information out of them.
Vincent?
Then sit along with others.
Who else you got?
I have a wide-stretching web of information. It's good to get your details from various sources. That way you avoid bias.
I can understand that.
You have some of that sulfur there, right?
We're not with them.
Yeah, you guys
We
are
are.
coming into the entranceway at this
Oh.
point.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, hi.
Get back. Try again.
Yeah, you have some of that sulfur there, right?
I've got a bit of it. I'm going to pull out like a handkerchief and just kind of dust it into it and fold it up. I think we
well-
could...
Hold on. Unfold for a quick second.
Oh, here you go.
Also want to
Give
grab
a
a little
quick
bit.
hand rub, and I'm going to cast Identify.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
also, while this is happening, try to identify it just by looking at.
Sure. Roll an Arcana check.
Ooh, Arcana. What? Hello, going on the
Ooh,
way over
it's
there.
magic as fuck.
So I'm gonna be so real with you, and I meant to say this like off stream, but there are certain things I'm doing for Waterdeep that are not real spells, and it's only for like cool flair, like the fire message Dante received earlier, and this is also kind of falls into that category of me doing my own shit at the moment. But it is going to be. Let me look up what school this is from, so I can kind of base it off of that.
I love homebrew in this house.
I'm not going to use it like whenever it is important or like in combat. More of just like this is one of the most magic cities in the world, and I feel like there just needs to be more for basic magic in the world, if that makes sense.
Completely agree. We love flavor in this place.
Get magic all up in this biatch.
Oh, I got a 12 for Arcana. I don't know if I said that.
Okay. Callan, you really don't glean anything from this. However,
What color is it?
a burnt red orange.
Ooh.
This would be conjuration. Fall under conjuration. It, from what you can tell, was the spellcasting focus for a teleportation spell.
Okay.
There almost appear to be smaller traces that could have at one point been sketched into a sigil. But at the point where you all and Mason's parents and probably other magistrates had walked through the building, footprints just completely erased it.
So we're looking at a possible sigil, almost like a teleportation circle, where this sulfur could have been used. Some sort of teleportation spell. Big ol' whiff of conjuration off this. I would definitely keep this. You have our first piece of evidence.
I think this will be very useful to us. I think, unless you guys have any more leads around here, perhaps we go see about our new property, and after we figured out what we're doing next, we all branch out and peruse our different avenues of gathering information.
Less of information, but more of a feeling. This place is too put together. Like, even for a rich hoity-toity family's place, this seems staged. to look good.
Unsettlingly staged.
Like a cleaning crew had come through at some point.
A cover-up.
And one thing that I mentioned earlier, Tommy, is that when you were even like looking into the flower shop, there's almost always some sort of broken pottery or dirt spilled. There was nothing.
Yeah, everything looked fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I'll relay that information to them too. This kind of seems to be a running theme of things looking too perfect, too untouched.
Christine.
So we could assume here, just assuming things, of course, whoever did this had a lot of connections to a lot of different people. They could get things done quickly.
Get in, get the people that they need, magically put everything perfectly together, teleport out.
Exactly. I have my suspicions, but you have to be careful when you assume things.
Because you could make an ass out of a womb.
Yes.
You guys know, sorry, this is so out of context. Do you guys know the episode of Phineas and Ferb where Doofenshmirtz makes a teleportinator and then he just teleports an entire party to his pants?
Yes.
I don't.
Vaguely.
I'm going to have questions for you when this is over.
Vaguely.
I'm telling you,
I think
you'll
I
find
said
it.
the
so good.
teleportinator backfired.
Yeah.
He didn't purposefully do it.
Feel bad
It's
that
in
I
the-
never watched Phineas and Ferb growing up.
How dare you? First of all, it's in the
There's
intimate get-together
104 days
episode
of
for
summer
sure.
vacation, and school comes along just to end it.
And Pop and Mark.
Hey, I don't want to get demonetized. Like I'm getting monetized.
I forget
but I don't
exactly
wanna
what
get
comes next.
copyright stricken.
Not.
But yes, I guess we'll head off to our comfy little shithole. The middle
All right.
of the skull split area, the dragon fucker.
Troll skull.
That's the one. The troll skull alley.
And this is also your abode now. It is Troll Skull Allie, if you guys choose to rename it, that is totally up to you. You have the capabilities.
Oh, I thought of a great name, but we'll get to it eventually.
Okay.
We're fine.
But yeah, for the two of you who's the first time seeing it, it is very much what you would expect out of a very quickly abandoned tavern. Broken furniture, soured smells, thick layers of dust. But it's yours!
Well, at least we have a place to call our own.
Indeed. I believe also as well, Callan, you're the only one who doesn't, like... You're the only one here who is a traveler into Waterdeep.
Actually, yes, this is... And my place I was staying, I would definitely not feel comfortable staying there right now. So this actually couldn't have come at better timing.
Admittedly, although I do agree
Yeah.
that you should stay here and we should all have our own little wicked slumber party, it wouldn't make sense for them to hit the same place twice.
Correct. They wouldn't know that I was there.
Right, but for you, it would be creepy as fuck.
Oh, absolutely. Between worrying about my friend versus staying in a place that looks oddly perfect, there's no chance.
I mean,
While they're
admittedly,
having this
overlooking
conversation, I'm
the
gonna
area.
begin ritually casting Detect Magic.
Oh, I'll be doing
Yeah.
the same thing.
I was just gonna look around for some weirdo things
I'm
that
prepared for ghosts.
exist. I was looking for.
I was gonna say, if we want to make something clean and, like, start, making things look better, we should probably start with the sleeping area.
Yes,
Ghosts.
I'm.
Where are the ghosts?
Yeah, ghosts. Actually, no. You can deal with the ghosts. I am also gonna go put my stuff in the master fucking bedroom. Thank you very much.
I wish we had a paladin, with that divine sense.
I've got Detect Magic.
So you kind of do. Where all are you headed with your detect magic?
Let me pull up the map. I'm going to the tap room area,
That is where you are at currently.
and I'm gonna walk to the kitchen and the pantry.
Okay.
I will head
And
to
then-
the second floor.
I'm just gonna start making my way around.
So you kind of peel through this. Other than the tap room, the rest of it is kind of empty, other than thick cobwebs and dust. But there's not a lot of furniture in these other rooms. Possibly like this place really wasn't doing too well business wise before it closed down. But there is nothing that is pinging with detect magic. But it is kind of the same upstairs. There are like multiple fireplaces throughout it. You count in total about 5 fireplaces. But yeah.
And how many stories is this, you said?
3.
I believe 3.
Can I check the cellar?
Sure.
And while you check the cellar, I will check the third floor and any attic that may exist.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to find a ghost, it's going to be in the attic or in the cellar.
Ghosts.
They all appear to be the same.
All right.
No sign of anything.
I think I kind of come back to, and nothing of note and nothing left by previous house guests that have accrued dust and...
It looks like everything that was other than the broken furniture in the tap room and ruined silverware and things like that. Everything has been cleared out of here at one point.
Fair enough.
It is completely barren.
I think I'm going to go and I'm going to find Dante. And just be like, you wouldn't believe what I found.
What's that?
Spooky, scary skeletons. They've sent shivers down my spine.
Really?
No. No, actually, I haven't found anything. There's, like, not a inch of magical anything. I think, honestly, the 3 of us who can cast magic, well, or the 4 of us, can you cast magic?
Oh, yes, I can cast magic.
Okay. Mostly I've seen you stab things, so. So I think we might be the most magical thing in the building.
Like I said before, it was more of a feeling. It could have just been me being a bit on edge from the day before.
Well, let's see if we have any wine that's, still drinkable, and I'll let you take the edge off.
That sounds like a lovely idea.
In the meantime, I am taking note of how many rooms there are for how many new linens that we will have to get. Yeah, I'm just kind of doing like a mental inventory where it's like, if we want to get this place up and running, what do we need to get?
Absolutely. Is anyone else doing anything at all in the meantime?
Callan has hopefully found the master bedroom by now and is putting away his things. Did I actually retcon and say that I took the journal with me?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Because I think I'll just kind of skim through that a little bit before I eventually head back downstairs.
A lot of it.
Finding no ghost, I go to the library.
Okay. A lot of it is just daily logs. At first, there are quite a few mentions of you, and just cataloging what the two of you did throughout the day. It is really deep-seated regret that started to get mentioned more and more throughout the journal now that you're taking the time to actually read through everything. This hasn't come out of nowhere. It has just been building and building, and it seems like it's been going on a lot longer than you began to realize. Possibly for as long as you've known him.
Does it specify what about?
Not really. It is almost like there are sentences leading up to almost admitting something and then never being able to fully commit to writing it in pen and paper.
Sure.
But a
Okay.
very just guilt over something, but it never specifies.
Does it say, like, how far back does it go?
This journal goes about 4 months back.
Okay. Thank you.
In the library, you don't find much. There are maybe like a few inventory ledgers still left, but that is about it.
There's no books?
Not everything has been cleared out of here.
Babe, that's so sad.
I'll look at the inventory ledgers.
If it is just like ordering ale, as you kind of like go back through it, it does go fairly far back, and you're not sure what happened with this business, but it was a fairly popular place from just the amount that they were ordering. But it changed about 15 years ago for them. That's when it stated that it like orders started to go down until they just eventually stopped altogether.
Do I know who used to run the place?
No. About that time, there is a pretty strong knock at the door.
Which door?
The front door.
I'm up on the 3rd floor. Who's
The
closest?
cellar door.
I'm probably the closest.
Okay.
Oh, what did I do here? That's not right.
I mean, like, it's
I'll go
super
open up
quiet
the
in
door.
here, so I feel like we all hear it. And there's
yeah,
that moment of like, who's
Who's getting the door?
that we're here?
I've got it.
I'm up on the top. I'm up on the top floor. Can somebody else get it?
Oh, I think I'm next to you, Mason.
Yeah, we're on the same floor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me
I
and
get
Dante
that.
went to go find the wine. I'm still looking through the wine.
Dante, you rush to the door. As you open it, there is were they full elf? Yeah. Elven, elven person standing behind them. They have long braided hair. It is the herbalist that you met earlier, Fala. But they kind of give you like a very formal bow of the head. I'm sorry to bother you all. Is the place yours now? I was up in the greenhouse and I saw you all.
Yes, it is. We're just taking our first little look around, seeing what we have to work with, essentially.
Well, congrats. And they produce a fairly large potted plant for you all.
Oh my god, it's a housewarming gift.
And pass it to you. I'm just around the corner if you ever need anything. I'm a healer. All sorts of plants, as you can tell from the greenhouse, but just wanted to welcome you to the neighborhood.
Thank you very much.
My head up, and I recognize that voice.
Upstairs.
Stranger! Glad to
Oh.
see you again.
Good to see you as well. Yes. Recently purchased from her business. Lovely place. Lovely woman.
I prefer neither, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
Just say.
my apologies.
No, you're fine. But
Yes, we're going to make this place into a lovely abode.
it has been a long time since it deserves it.
Who was here? What happened? This place is more dust than building.
You know, a death can really ruin a business.
I shan't push.
No, it wasn't personal. But the barkeep, a lot happened, and I don't remember most of it. It was mostly hearsay, but things ended badly one night, and he was supposedly haunting the place after that. So it kind of ran off business. He was a violent ghost. The likes.
I see. That makes sense.
Every
That made
time
really
someone new has tried to move in, he ends up running them off too.
Well, we might be a little bit harder to chase off.
Hopefully.
I'm sure we're also not the first people to make that sort of threat.
No.
Do you know any clerics in the area? Paladins? Anyone sworn to righteous justice of the gods?
There are a few temples, and they'll kind of like list a few of them that are not too terribly far away from your area that I cannot think of off the top of my head, but I will get back to you on.
Fair.
But I don't know any personally. They kind of stick to themselves for the healing.
Very well. Mr. Dead Bartender Ghost, if you can hear us, we'd rather be your friend than your adversary.
If I remember, his name was Leaf?
Leaf. Lovely name.
If that would help at all.
Very well could.
Down at this point and say something like,
Yeah, I get down there too.
yeah.
And you both see a massive, almost like Dante. It's huge in Dante's arms, but like fern plant that doesn't require too much attention.
Love it. Best kind. Hello, it's... Who are you?
I'm Fala. I own an herbalism shop around the corner. Thought I'd welcome you all.
Well, thank you very much. It's wonderful to meet you.
Of course, likewise. If you're ever in need of healing or potions or flowers, I'm your person.
Actually, I adore flowers and would love to keep some in the place if we can have that be a thing.
Absolutely. I will bring some by first thing in the morning.
Wonderful. Whatever you think best. I love an assortment. Anything new.
Got an idea. But
Granted, I'm sure this will look a lot better soon. But
good luck to you all.
wonderful
Don't
to meet
let
you.
the poltergeist bite. and they will take their leave.
That's
Well, it seems we have lovely neighbors.
we do. They seem to be quite nice, actually. I popped into their shop earlier. That's where me and you bumped into each other.
Oh, that's right. Interesting. I guess I wasn't wrong about the poltergeist.
Leif, we really don't want any harm here. We can just have a chat.
You see, slowly being etched into the mirror or the window next to you is closing time, letter by letter, painstakingly carved into the dust.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
Hear me out. I got a business proposal for you. What do you think of that?
There's no
Open
response.
time?
No
Can I
response.
go over and can I write open? Question mark. I've never dealt with ghosts before.
I can tell.
A line gets crossed through open.
I think it's less to do with you dealing with ghosts and maybe you not being the most interpersonal person amongst us.
No, I think if I had to put it into numbers, I think my charisma's the lowest.
Leaf, my friend, my new roommate. I would not see your building, your life's work, defiled. And in fact, I would see it returned to its former glory, and your name reinstated as the legend it should be. This building should not look like this. I think you and I both agree. And we are... Okay, I hesitate to use the word good people, but I think we mean well.
There is no verbal or physical response. There is, however, the lifting feeling like that you were being watched, or a chill had began to set in that you hadn't even fully realized, but now that it's gone, you do realize. But that those feelings leave. Any feeling of like resentment building in the air leaves momentarily, but you did appease him for the moment.
Do I see the thing that says last call on the top of the door?
Yeah, another thin layer has kind of settled over this, but it is still visible.
Okay. I just turn to the group and say, so I know we were trying to come up with a name for what we were going to call this. What about Last Call Tavern? Or just Last Call?
The last call to it sounds quite nice.
It's got a nice ring to it.
Thought it might be a good name. It's already existent in the building and could be kind of fun. And perhaps it will appease Leaf even more so. What's that?
I said I think I have a bit of a project that I would like
A
to start
project?
as well in my free time.
Which is?
A little bit of artistic expression. Now, of course,
Care
if
to
I told you,
elaborate?
it wouldn't be a surprise. I don't want to blow the surprise.
Okay, alright.
But, it also might be interesting if we found out how our lovely bartender met his demise. Spirits tend to stick around because they have unfinished business, and perhaps if we can help to give some of that closure, then Leaf may be more admirable towards us.
It's definitely a possibility. Worth a shot.
I'm gonna just pull out one of my notebooks and a quill that I have, and I'm just gonna put it down on a table. I'm just be like, if you ever wanted to chat in something that's not dust, you can use this.
Did he say something earlier?
Yeah, he said closing time. And then he crossed
Oh.
out when I asked if it was open time.
Yes, his way of basically telling us to get the fuck out.
Yep.
But, I've
Got
talked
it,
to
I
him
see it.
enough that I think that if we leave him alone, he'll leave us alone, and that's a pretty good relationship, at least to start off with.
I agree.
It's just in case.
I think it's fair. Give him a chance if he is able to respond in something other than dust, of course.
Cause you know, if I'm gonna start cleaning all the dust, he's gonna have nothing to talk to us with.
That's a good point. Perhaps he wanted it to get a little dusty in here so that he had something to communicate with.
He didn't think a scholar would make their way in with books and quills and many a magics. Oh, speaking of books, Mason, do you have like a order ledger there?
Yeah,
Can I take a look?
yeah, sure. It's kind of boring.
Yeah, they typically tend to be. Are there any like blank pages, like blank ledger pages that can be filled in?
Yeah, absolutely. This was not. It is fairly old, only about halfway full though.
Okay, I'll hit that
It
halfway
stopped
mark and I'll
about
put
15 years ago.
today's date at the top of the next blank page. And while everybody continues to do whatever they're doing, I'm going to make order notes as
Okay.
to what we need for the tavern. Did I
Almost.
also manage to find any wine and or alcohol that age was kind to?
There is, in all of your looking, about one barrel in the cellar that you might trust.
Might.
The rest of it was not properly sealed in the first place and is completely bad.
Why don't I work on getting these out of here? Dante, do you mind helping me? And then we can celebrate at the end when we're done with the last decent barrel.
I'll start on the
Do you even have
dust.
to purify food and drink by chance? Mason?
What?
Any chance you have purified food and drink?
Not today.
Well, shit.
Well, I mean,
Where the hell am I gonna need that?
Right now.
You know, Callan, you do have a friend with a very large mansion and a very large kitchen with food that otherwise is going to go pretty bad. If you'd like to maybe make a run.
That is a good point. Anyone care to come with me? So I don't go into the creepy, very weirdly perfect house all alone.
Well, how about you help me get these old beverages out of here, and I'll accompany you to the estate.
Sounds like a plan.
Now lift with your knees, not your back.
Ugh. Know how to lift. Thank you.
And then we go into a montage.
I started
Yeah, cleaning
vegetationing.
Cleaning
all the dust.
montage. What time is it?
We have 18 minutes.
Is that your limit, self-imposed limit?
Oh, no. That's when it's midnight for Kira, and that is when it's her birthday.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
We have, for me, an hour and 18 minutes.
So the camera zooms. It zooms over to Dante and Callan, who are like huffing a bunch of like bottles into makeshift recycle bins. It goes over to a Tommy who's like walking around making note of each table that we have and how many chairs we need, linens for upstairs. it circles back around to Mason, who's using a combination of good old-fashioned elbow grease and magic to sweep and wash up. Montage.
This is exactly what my teachers thought I would be using my magic for.
What's the weather? What does the weather look like? Right, like, is it nice, sunny? It's warm.
Yeah,
It
can we crack the windows open? Let some sunlight.
Absolutely,
Some air
it is a warm summer day outside. There is a little. There's not a lot of a breeze left that is like a cool breeze, but
Mhm.
the wind is at least circulating.
He'll do that thing where he takes his shirt off.
Mason does not look.
Do that thing.
Do that thing.
Mason
a
like
bunch
looks
of-
once and just like
Hey, I'm playing a man. I can take my fucking shirt off. Because I can't
hey,
do
you
that
can
in
take
real
your
life.
shirt off when you're a woman. It just depends on the kind of confidence you have.
Well, ma'am,
I just feel like there's like 3 like hard-working, nose to the grindstone, sweaty, shirtless men, and then there's
Yes.
just Mason, who is
You know
doing
damn
her
well I'm
best
peeling
to
my
just-
shit off.
trying her
just
best to like not
avoid-
look at anybody.
Mason's trying not to look.
love it.
So, are we spending like the rest of the afternoon fully divulging into cleaning,
I
or is
feel
there
like-
anything else
Yeah.
you wanted to do?
And then going to this is probably what we spend the afternoon on, probably into the evening, and then we go to back over to the Shrins and grab
Yeah.
some food.
While
Is it
you
just-
guys are grabbing some food, I'm gonna just like pop into. I've seen enough shitty taverns for this week that I go and I find a good one and see if I can do some performing there.
Okay.
Because I know that
roll-
with these ledgers, I'm gonna need to get some coin.
Roll an investigation check just for searching around for the right crowd tonight.
Despite Scanlan screwing me over with that one roll, it's been good rolls today.
Yeah, seriously.
Investigation. That is a 21.
So fairly easily, you go and manage to find a pretty bustling tavern in the North Ward, which tends to be the nicer district. People are a little bit more free with their tips, things like that. Roll a performance check for me.
I will also subtly put into my performance an ad for a new tavern that may be
Okay.
opening up soon.
Okay.
The last
What's
call.
that shameless plug?
Do I have... No, I don't become stupid broken until the next level, I don't think. So instead I'm just normal good.
Normal good, shucks.
Let's go you. That is a 22. A 16 plus 6, and that's with something I'm not proficient in.
In total, you make about 65 gold tonight.
That's decent.
That's decent. I will head back to his house because we didn't even have to spend money on food yet, so we're doing damn good.
Kylan and Dante, you head back to the perfect dollhouse, like you said. You can fairly easily grab like a bag full of food, enough like for you guys for a few days if you chose to, of shelf stable items. This was a fully stocked kitchen.
I'm also going to go through and like grab any extra linens things like
Okay.
that, just to make up the beds that we can sleep on for now. Just have clean
Absolutely.
to sleep with. Just like some basic stuff. Fill up another bag, just to make our lives easier while we're staying there.
Okay.
I'm just gonna grab any like nicer liquor that I can find, and like I don't know if they have. I wouldn't be able to take a barrel of wine. That's not a thing. How about like a bottle or two? 2 bottles.
Sure, absolutely. I'll say you can find like 2 to 3 bottles of liquor and 2 bottles of wine.
Perfect.
I will also do one last thing because I feel like I went out myself, all right, to do my rounds.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, and no one else being around me, would I know where the best place would be to try and sell off this thing that I pilfered?
Yes. Probably not in the North Ward.
No, you're probably looking at like the trade ward.
Either the Trade Ward or like a shady guy at the Dock Ward, if you know what I'm saying, so nobody asks any questions, because that is a fairly expensive item you have in your pocket.
Yeah. Do I also know if I do I also know
Stop
if I
dying.
brought this back to the Zentarum, if that's worth doing, or am I better off just finding a shady motherfucker at the docks?
It would be like a donation to them. So if you want the gold for it, shady dude.
Yeah, I think this is more of an investment to giving the Zentarum more gold later. So if I can swing by the dock ward and try and do that, then I will.
Sure. It'll add about an hour total to your walk back. If not like an hour and a half or so. But yeah, you actually the only place open by the time that you get back is the Zoblob Duragar shop.
Yep, love that. Um, so I'll pop in there hella quick.
Yeah. He's sat crisscross applesauce like he was the last time on the glass counters, like halfway through a meditation when you walk in.
So his eyes are closed when I walk
Yes.
in.
Yes.
Cool. I will cast friends on him.
Okay.
And then be like, "Oh, sorry, my friend, to disturb your meditation."
You're fine. What can I do for you?
Um, looking to start investing in a business, and so selling off some things that would be best put into investments. If you'd like to take a look.
He snatches it from you, kind of rolls backwards off of his glass countertop, and comes back up with like the like diamond lenses, you know, the jeweler maker lenses,
The little like
um,
gyroscope
yes.
fucking thing.
And fully begins checking over almost every surface area of this, and kind of like weighing it, tossing it kind of around his hands. Melt it down. This could be worth a lot. 300.
Would I know how much this is worth? Because I obviously know he needs to make a profit.
That is somewhere in the ballpark of what you were kind of assuming you could get off of it. It is ultimately a paperweight, but
Yeah.
it is just melted down, probably would be worth around that.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds more than reasonable. I think you've got yourself a deal, my friend.
He kind of shoves his hands into his pockets and just starts producing handfuls of gold until roughly 300 gold is counted out onto the counter in front of you.
And just kind of like, and of course, you know.
He slides it it further into like the pockets on his cloak and goes back to meditating.
I will make a mental note to apologize in advance, and then I will take my leave.
Mason was doing something while everybody left.
Okay.
Use whatever shortcuts I know to get back as
Reading
quick
or
as
some
possible.
shit.
Mason went to find Tristan.
Roll an investigation check with advantage.
Where is it? Natural 20. And a 2. So 25.
Why did you even roll again when the
You
natural
roll.
20 was your first one?
I wanted to see if I could get another one.
Oh gosh. Okay, fair.
I have done it on disadvantage. It's the coolest thing in the world.
That is the best feeling.
It takes you about 20 minutes to get back to the North Ward. Almost as soon as you do enter the area, you almost run face first into him as he is doing rounds throughout the streets. Mason, what are you doing out this late?
I actually came with a question for you.
Okay.
Also, hi.
Hi. It's been a while.
Yeah. So you know back when we were kids and we would keep secrets, the fact that we were stealing our parents' alcohol?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Shoot,
need you to
shoot.
keep this secret for this question I was about to ask. And I need you to be honest with me.
Okay.
And you gotta ask no questions.
I don't promise that last part. I will have follow-up questions.
Okay, just don't tell my parents.
Okay.
Has there been any word on any archfiends or archdevils or anything?
More than usual? Not necessarily.
Nothing.
Not that someone as low as I would know about. Your
You're a
mom?
fucking magistrate.
Yeah, but I'm not up there like some of them are. I'm not I don't get everything.
Are
It's
you able
not
to
all that it
find out?
cracked up to be. I will try. Do you want to meet back here tomorrow?
Same time?
Sure. And I will try to find. Why are you looking into it though?
I'm trying to figure out why everybody's going missing.
And you're thinking Archfiend?
Maybe.
Okay. I'll try to find something out.
I also just I gotta let somebody know. There's a fucking illithid thing in the sewers.
There's a what?
Yeah, but
No, Mason! He doesn't chase you, but he very much looks frustrated about the fact that he can't chase you right now.
I just turn around and just like wink at him and then keep going.
Metaphorical fist raised in the air at you as you leave.
And I head back.
Alright. Is there anything else that you, Callan or Dante, wanted to do before you head back to the tavern?
No, I kind of, I kind of want to just get back. I'd love to find like a table. I'm also gonna grab a tablecloth from like one that's put away.
Yeah.
And I want to bring some glasses and stuff, and like basically make a little like picnic basket and take it with. And I'm gonna bring it back to the new tavern that we're starting, and just grab a table, set out the tablecloth, set out some like dishes and things, and make us a little meal. And that would be really cute.
Dante, is there anything you were wanting to do?
I'll go up and kind of assert myself a room away from most of the other ones. If there's even like a storage room, I'll kind of just shack up in there to stay out of the way.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna sit down and like meditate and commune for a while.
There's an attic bedroom.
Attic bedroom.
Yeah, there's an attic bedroom.
Attic
That's
bedroom.
yours, dude.
Okay.
All yours.
Is there anything you were wishing to get across in your communion?
Well, what we talked about earlier.
Okay.
Am I just for my notes? Am I right? So Callan's in the master, Mazen's in the
Mason
floor
hasn't
bed.
chosen yet.
You should be in
I
the
don't
third
think.
floor
I-
because it's by the library.
Are you trying to
figured
fuck me?
No, it's by the
Not
fucking
yet.
weirdo.
I thought, Atani and I haven't chosen our bedrooms.
Oh well, Tommy should be downstairs in the second floor, and you should be in the third floor. Unless you want to be on your own floor, which makes sense too. So it's up to you. Pick.
No, I want the third floor because it looks like it has a little balcony thing and a private bath.
A lot of the rooms do have balconies.
Sweet. Balconies.
I am the Atami 2600.
Yes.
I am poring over this ledger and like with all of my notes in it, trying to do gold calculations.
Absolutely. I believe it gives me a number for how much you need. Let me look.
I love that.
Oh, someone's got it all designed out. That's so cute.
One second.
You can do it. We believe in you. Fam, I have dill pickle chips over here. You best know about to devour that bag when we're done.
God, I love dill pickle chips.
So good.
So good.
A big pickle girly.
Has it? It's hit it for me, Kira.
It's what? Oh! Yeah, it's officially hit it for me as
Happy
well.
birthday to you.
am
Happy
pretty-
birthday
Yeah!
to
To
you.
you.
Happy
Happy birthday, dear Kira. Happy birthday to your
29
30.
part two.
How's it feel?
Happy
29
birthday.
Thank you.
You have officially been alive for 10 decades.
That's not how that
10
works.
decades.
That's not
3
how that
decades.
works.
I'm just
10
can't
decades.
numbers. I can't numbers. 3 decades.
Somebody
I'm-
clip that. Now in reality, I have been alive for 3 decades.
3 decades.
That is wild for me to
Mhm.
think that 20 years ago was 2004.
Ew.
I was
That's
3.
wild.
I'm for people at home, 30 years old. I'm as old as Disney's The Lion King. It came out in 1994.
Hold on, let me
That's
see the
crazy.
Disney equivalent for me.
Okay, y'all. So
What's a-
there is a breakdown, and you're not gonna like it.
Oh,
But
no. What do you? Fuck.
I will kind of go over some things that has to do with running a business in a city like this really quickly.
Oh shit.
It would take you guys about 2 weeks to renovate the tavern fully, where you could open it. About 1,000 gold investment fully. There is also multiple guilds that you would want to be in semi-alliances with instead of having them against you. So there is about, in total, a 250 gold piece between contracts and things between guild makers, like the people that are going to be possibly cooking your food or doing your plumbing or things like that. But yes, that it wouldn't take you guys the longest time to have it up and running.
What if I added an unseen servant into the mix?
Ooh,
I'd say
there you go.
12 days.
Actually, that's not a bad idea, dude. Because that could just keep going while we're doing stuff, right?
Does that take concentration?
It's ritual.
Or probably not.
That's not the question I ask.
Give me a second,
Because detect
please.
magic is ritual as well, but it's also concentration.
It is
Oh,
not.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Also, guys, I am as old as the Lion, not the Lion King. That's you.
No, you're
I'm as old
fucking
as
not.
Monsters Inc.
just did it.
Monsters
I'm
Inc. Oh
Inc.
my god, you went to 3D animation?
I googled Disney movies that came out in 2001, and really that was the only one I knew. Princess
Ooh,
Diaries.
I mean, to be fair, you're as old as Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter.
I didn't even
Tarzan
think
and
to go in that way.
get this Fantasia 2000 were also made in not 2000, 99.
Yeah?
All right, I'm gonna begin ritual casting an unseen servant.
This is so smart.
You do
Hell
so.
yes.
You
Thank you
also
so
get the feeling that there might be certain people that you could get loans out for that kind of gold. Things like that. And I will also just say it is fairly profitable, but do with that what you want.
It's like any true investment. You gotta put out a lot at once to then make a lot.
It also might be good if you guys know somebody who's part of an underground mafia of
Oh, that's a good point.
trafficking really expensive magical items.
And people.
Also, I'm like, Tommy is the sleight of hand king, so I feel like he will offer to accompany Callan, on trips back to the Dollhouse Manor, as we so affectionately call it.
Dollhouse Manor. I actually love that. We're calling
Where's
it that.
their safe?
Oh my
yeah,
god.
like
They
I'm
don't need it
definitely
anymore.
gonna be looking around and seeing if there's a safe. Don't know when I could ever safe crack while Callan's around, but maybe that's something I do in the nighttime.
He will if he catches you, which he's gonna get
You're
pissed.
not gonna
but
be
we'll
there
find
in the nighttime because you don't want to be in the spooky dollhouse.
I'll
it.
come.
Yeah.
Fuck the rich.
So
But
yes,
we all kind of, however long it may take us, collectively gather around the set table that Callan has made.
I figured we seem to be in this for a while, and we're getting ourselves into a lot, as long as you all want to be. So,
it might also be good for us to have a front if we are going to be looking more into these disappearances. A tavern generates the public. Publics generate talking. And sometimes it's just useful to listen.
that's fair. So, as long as you are all in this, let's do it, I suppose. And I raise up my glass of wine, pour it for everyone.
Last call.
Last call.
Last call.
I think that will be where we end it for tonight. I've got to do some research into everyone that's going to come meet you guys and introduce themselves.
Oh my god.
We're gonna meet a lot of people, and I honestly
Hell yeah.
can't wait for my next meeting with Tasahira, who is just going to be, the fuck do you mean you opened a tavern?
Yeah.
Well, I
I'm gonna
said
go up to my
late
parents.
low.
What the fuck do you mean you opened a tavern?
What part
I'll be
of
so
lay
excited to
low,
speak to
you
my
motherfucker? Look, for Atami, this
I'm
is laying low.
so excited. Guys, we're opening a tavern!
This is the
This
first
is
time
so
I've actually
fun.
owned a house and or a business in D&D.
I'm gonna be honest
Yeah.
with you. The last time I owned a tavern in D&D, I just really pissed Caitlin off with it.
Don't get me started about the woolly mammoth.
It's the
Thanks-
woozy mammoth.
Woozy.
The woozy mammoth.
It's been like 6 months, my bad. Thank you everyone for watching. Follow along on our socials and all of that fun stuff. And join us next time by the firelight.